Hello, Summit Esports, and welcome to the very first week of playoffs for Summit Esports Season 6. Once again, this is Gargoomba. I'm returned. I may be stuck in PPP's basement right now to do casting, but this time we have a very familiar face with me on the desk tonight. Cake, nice to see you again.
Hello, Gar. Thank you. You said you might be in PPP's basement. I'm up in the attic. He gave me a nice, spacious, airy attic. A little hot up here with the weather, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Dude, at least you get the sun in your face occasionally when the sun's pointing at the window.
True, true, true.
I swear I may have like a pet rat or two down here. They haven't bothered me too much though, but
At least you can eat those, Worst case scenario.
but you got like the pink stuff up there, you know? You got the nice like bedding you can
Yeah,
have.
the wall cotton candy.
Yeah. it's a nice like crackling feeling in your throat. But let's get back on track with all of this. We're watching Marmy's Fan Club versus Final Boss Esports. And in this draft, Final Boss Esports is the second seed team of the draft, or are they third seed? No, they're second. Yeah, they're second seed of the. I have been corrected. I have not been counting the points properly, so Final Boss Esports is currently third seed, while Marty's Fan Club is a fifth seed. So this is going to be a pretty close match. If I do recall, though, Final Boss Esports did end up taking the lead during the regular season rounds of this match. I believe the score was either 2-0 or 2-1. I'm not exactly sure. I would have to check. But regardless, I think this would be a banger game for the night.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's always gonna be a banger when the matches are close, especially in playoffs, right? Because this is when teams start leveling up, players start caring just a little bit more, and everyone's really sweating their asses off for the wins. So games like this are what we live for. And I do want to touch on it just before we get into the draft, which not sure what the delay is, but we'll get into it eventually. The new patch came out this week, right?
Yeah.
And there were a lot of interesting changes, specifically in the buff category, right? We saw a lot of top laners get changed, like Fiora got buffed. Gwen, very, very strong now. She did get hotfix nerf, but still very strong. And namely, Nefiri. Nefiri is enabled, correct?
She is
She's
currently disabled for the
oh
first
disabled.
2
Okay,
weeks,
okay.
yes.
That is
But
unfortunate because I think
yeah,
she's so fun, but
yeah, I literally was playing a couple of the Fury Jungle games. That thing feels correct. But definitely, as you mentioned, the meta shift is going to be pretty noticeable with all the ADC nerfs and top lane buffs coming out in this patch. But it looks like we're starting in the draft with a Varus ban for Marmy's Fan Club and a Lulu ban for Final Boss Esports.
yeah,
What's our
speaking of
picks?
nerfs, Varus not in that category, and that champion is a bit disgusting. So not surprised to see him taken off the board there.
Yeah, honestly, he's just been sleeper OP. Like, what was it, like 4 or 5 patches ago? They did all the Q and passive changes, and he's just been a prominent pick since.
Yeah, I mean, combat lethality Varus has been good for quite a while. So as long as teams abuse that, I think he's always pretty solid. He's just consistent, wins a lot of lanes, works well with pretty much any support pairing, any comp. So just
Yeah,
really strong. And like you said, pretty sleeper OP. A lot of people were disrespecting it until the pick rate went up.
that's how it always happens. Speaking of disrespecting champions, Tristana has been like skyrocketing in this patch. And she hasn't even
Really?
been touched in like the last 4 or 5. Like, I think she's on OP.GG, she's like number 2 ADC with like a 52% win rate.
Yeah.
And it's not a small pick rate either. I think it's like an 8-9%. It is prominent.
I guess that makes sense, like you said, with all the other AD carries getting nerfed, and I believe they buffed Tristana's passive like 2 or 3 patches ago. So that all adds up, and when other champions get weaker, it makes Tristana stronger in comparison. So another strong champion taken off the board. She's also a flex in the mid lane, so makes sense that you could river that with the Smolder locked in B1. That's quite
Oh.
the interesting B1. Not sure how I feel about that. I don't love the Smolder pick. I think there are other stronger B1s, but I don't hate it either. Gar, how do you feel?
This could be a good like testing the waters for the smolder changes this patch, as I believe his W actually all his WE and R all got buffed.
Yeah,
And
his
I'm
R
pretty sure his
cooldown, then
Q,
his
yeah, his Q got a slight balance change, I think 2 patches ago as well. So
that sounds
depending on how
correct.
this might look, if Mari's fan club is looking for a scaling lane and they're probably just gonna try to leave Hysteria on the side, this could be a pretty problematic pick for Final Boss Esports if they can't take this early lead, especially with this Jinx Pantheon.
For sure. I mean, Pantheon, though, is a good answer into the Smolder. I think having that point and click stun, that cross map pressure with the R, it could be Pantheon jungle, could be Pantheon mid, could be Pantheon. I mean, Pantheon's a 4 row flex, right? Like, I'm not going to go through listing all of them, even though I already did half. But the point being, he has a point and click stun, very strong to kill the Smolder, just a lot of damage. Smolder is very squishy. The stun also interrupts Smolder's flap, flap, flap. So very, very strong overall as the Cho'Gath getting locked in into the Jinx into the Pantheon. I think that's a pretty good pick, right? Cho'Gath
Yeah.
just has so much HP. It's going to be really hard for these champions that don't have a lot of percent HP damage and that are very, very burst heavy, longer fights. That's where Cho'Gath thrives, right? And Jinx obviously can get eaten very easily by the big purple monster there.
Yeah, and depending on whether or not they're still going to go the Speeds or Cho'Gath build or a full tank Cho build, it could be very difficult for this Pantheon and Silas to get on top of this Molder, assuming they position it right and get like really crucial screeches or ruptures. So I think it's definitely a good pick, especially for the flexibility between top and mid lane. I assume the Silas wants to just take the Silas specifically for Seraphine and Cho'Gath ultimates being super good for him. Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
but there is the ability for Pyrosis and Marmy's fan club to have a pretty good counter. I don't know how the Aurelia matchup is into Silas, but that could be something we see from him during this pick.
Yeah, last I was aware of, and this is not a super informed take by any means, so don't take it as take it with a grain of salt. But
Right.
I believe Silas and Aurelia is a skill matchup. So if Pyrosis is feeling himself, it's definitely a pick that he can go for. And I kind of hope he does because just for viewers' sake, I think it is such like a high adrenaline fist fight, pure like high octane matchup. I would love to see the Aurelia come out as an answer into the Silas here. Though there's also the possibility that they just throw the Silas into the Cho'Gath no matter what, because Silas has a pretty okay matchup into Cho as well, right? His healing, his damage makes it really hard for Cho to deal with in the early game.
I think it's definitely have more Silas favored, but I think the Halo Blades pickup would be a lot harder for him to do the trades that he wants to. Uh, at the very least, I think the early game is going to be rough just because Vorpal Spike's Cho'Gath with Halo Blades actually like nukes a person early, and considering how much Cho'Gath sustain is early game with just like queuing the back line, screeching in, and then killing the entire wave, that's like a nice 100 HP and mana just back to you.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Something to look out for. And I think you're right. They might just throw that Silas mid lane to call it a day then. But it looks like they're saving their top for R5. So we'll have to find out on that last pick there.
Yeah, I think Ryan definitely would love to have the counter pick just to make sure that the solo lanes go well. Since, as far as I'm concerned, I think Final Boss Esports' main strengths are the solo lanes being pretty capable players while having their ADC play a mage and sort of neutralize the lane. Although I will point out that they do have a substitute this time. Prior to that, they have a new player by the name of Volta who is currently covering for Tate. So we may not see as much mage picks compared to before, especially considering they already locked the Jinx. So perhaps the game plan is going to be shifted quite a bit to how they're used to. But I think with how they have it set up, they want to play this nice front to back. They have the Rakan and Pantheon to engage. Uh, this could be pretty bloody if they play it right.
Yeah, I completely agree. As the Ezreal getting
Oh,
locked in, looks like it's gonna be a Smolder mid then. So they're using that B1 as a flex, I would imagine. And then Echo Jungle. Echo Jungle, I with Kaisa, I'm assuming this is Kaisa mid coming out from
yes.
Neversol as well. It is a pick that she plays. So
Oh, we are getting
a lot of
80-50
non-traditional picks here.
mids. Okay,
Yeah.
this is. I'm fine with seeing that for a little bit, not gonna lie. Just
Yeah, no,
seeing,
I think
yeah,
that's so exciting.
yeah, marksman gaps in the mid lane is basically just who's got better hands.
Very true. Much better than the Oriana Syndra, personally, just throwing balls at each other nonstop. At
Uh,
least these two interact in auto.
I don't even want to talk about. No, you know what? Azir Corki is probably the worst matchup to watch. Let's be real.
As your Corki.
Guys, I throw a soldier and farm while Corki
Uh,
just auto attacks and farms, and it's a really fun.
don't get me into the Zeri Lulu Lucian Nami thing. We will play those four champions in bot lane for 6 months straight, and you will smile. What a time!
Dude, I forgot about that meta.
How could you
But
forget?
I wiped that one. It's because it was also like 2 seasons after Ardent patch, and I thought it couldn't get any worse.
That's very fair.
But before we get to a break, what are your thoughts on these teams here? Who do you think's got an upper advantage or like a clear identity that would prevail over the other team?
I think Marmy's fan club just has like this slightly better comp overall. The Echo is the only pick that stands out to me as like not great. Like honestly, I'd rather see something like even though it's boring, like the Vi coming out just a little more consistent, the J4 even, just having that consistent lockdown in the jungle. But other than that, I mean, I think they scale super well. Like obviously Cho'Gath, Ezreal, Seraphine, Smolder, like all of those are hyper scaling champions. Echo's no chump either. And then they have a lot of frontline in that Cho'Gath HP. Whereas Final Boss Esports has a lot more of like a, I'd call it a solo queue comp. I don't know how you feel about using that terminology, but they
Uh,
have a lot of assassins, a lot of high damage, and if they can get these like scrappy fights, I think it can go their way. But it's going to be a lot harder to execute. The barrier for execution is a lot higher.
yeah, I do think it's a lot more rewarding though, because I feel like as soon as they get the kill, the Jinx gets excited. The Kai'Sa's able to follow up with the killer instincts, following up on the recon engage. And if the Smolder and the Ezreal get blown up during that process, there's not really much Marmy's fan club can do in response. So it really, if anything, it feels like a stat stick check on whether or not these ADCs are going to be strong enough to kill the Marmy fan club marksmans.
I agree. I think especially if Kaisa does opt into that like Nashor's Tooth, for example, she'll have the evolved Void Missile, which can be a lot of poke. So if they get set up on the objectives, it can be quite hard for Marmy's fan club to enter because Kaisa poke is nothing to scoff at. That is a lot of percent HP damage. It has an execute, it gives vision. So I think they do slowly win the poke war through the Kaisa poke and Jinx W as well, if they're able to get that set up correctly.
Alrighty, well, with that, let's take it on to a break as we wait for the spectator delay. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, Summit Esports, to Game 1 between Marmy's Fan Club versus Final Boss Esports in the first week of playoffs, the quarterfinals. A very exciting match, a little bit confusing comps for some specific picks, but, you know, it's the first game, things are off the walls, and we really want to see how these players play it out as they're putting their games on the line here. But, yeah, I'm Gargoomba, and if you didn't know, I'm joined by Wancake this time around, so happy to have him here.
Yeah, hello once again, everyone. And we're seeing a big invade here. Spartan going to spot out Asteria, but they're just going to take the ward and walk away. Final Boss Esports deciding not to commit any flashes. Just
Jinx has
playing
no,
a slow
no
early
item.
game.
Jinx has no items.
Oh my god, you're right. She has no item. Spartan still walking in. Is going to get spotted out here by Pyrosis. Could be in trouble.
I don't think Spartan's going to get into it. He might use the Comet Sphere here just to get the 5-stack off, but that also kind of screws up his clear if he does.
Yeah, I mean, he just lost, a third of his HP. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, assuming he's starting red or Raptors, like, he'll heal that back up just fine. He does the pot.
Yeah,
And
oh yeah. I mean, I'm not going to talk about how broken jungle is, but you heal a lot off of your camps. I don't think he's in any threat of dying, really. Gourmet
oh, here
Cookie's
comes
taking
the
an early
multiple
trade onto
spikes.
Ryan here. Wow.
Oh,
And I
wait,
mean,
that
you had
was
talked about the Hail of Blades, and that was just grass. That was just raw auto reset damage. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't even have time to proc the grass there either, so it was literally just purple spike. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kaisa is doing crazy work with her passive right now, as she's counting Pyrosis down to like half HP already. Not
yeah,
exactly a
Pyrosis.
good look considering the early game Ezreal wants to be poking early.
Yeah, it seems like he just misspaced a little bit. Unfortunately, wasn't playing around those max range Qs and got punished for it with Neversoul stepping off. Especially since she has lethal tempo, gotta be very careful when Never's in the game.
Ooh, grand entrance from Essence just barely misses out on Sunshine and doesn't get her kill. She is taking so much damage. Both support pots have been burnt on the side of Marmy's fan club. And it's not really a great spot to be, especially considering it's been 2 minutes.
Yeah, I do want to call out this Echo clear real quick. Echo actually started on his Raptors and went to Wolves, and that was on his Balloon. He could be looking for an early top lane dive, maybe. It could be an invade, but if they don't get anything from it, that could be quite sad. He's putting himself just behind since Spartan is full
Oh, mid
clear
lane might
here.
be a huge brawl as Neversaw has the lethal tempo stacked up. Ezreal's forced to flash away. Even though landing the Arcane Shift and the Mystic Shot, he just doesn't have enough damage early game compared to the Kaisa, thanks to her, I believe it's Plasma? Yeah, Plasma stacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, not exactly a super good position if you're Ezreal right now. I do know that the Arcane Shift is going to come up once he starts getting Mystic Shots in to reduce the cooldown, but this Pantheon could show up mid lane at any point and flash W him. That would be great. Meanwhile, bot lane, Asteria is forced to flash away from the grand entrance from Essence. So now both ADC picks for Marmy's fan club don't have flashes. It's going to be super dangerous for them if they don't respect their wave states enough.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do want to see the Smolder get a little more work done because this is the pick that they decided to pick on B1. They gave the Jinx over, didn't ban it. So when you're going to pick a champion like that early, I think you need to prioritize not losing the early game like this, and blowing your flash 2v2 is not the greatest start.
They do spot Spartan backing in the bot tri-bushes, ready to reset for that pickaxe. So there was a possibility a bot play could have happened if Asteria or Sunshine walked up to
For sure. Echo, however, was nearby, is on the Krugs now, finishing up a odd full clear, but I guess he just wanted to make sure he had some extra pressure in the top lane, and now is able to cover his bot lane from that Pantheon dive. Spartan starting his second full clear, though, is going to be just about a camp ahead just due to respawn timers. So a nice little early jungle lead for Final Boss here.
I'm gonna be honest, the Echo might gonna be slightly behind because he didn't take the red buff clear when he stopped by. Just because earlier in the mid lane, Heiko did stop by mid lane to give Pyrosis some breathing room to clear the wave hack because it was frozen. So that did stall out his tempo. Speaking of tempo, the abduct hits from Ryan, and that's going to be first blood over to Spartan, and Final Boss Esports lead the game with a nice 1-0.
Yeah, Gourmet Cookies unfortunately didn't flash the abduct, and that was all she wrote, really.
Yeah, Gourmet Cookies, unfortunately, just didn't have any vision. And speaking of vision, They have so much vision in that bush bot lane. The Sunshine is going to be going down thanks to the Ignite from Essence and Volta. They get excited going.
Yeah, and all credit to Falter there. Really, really well played with the Jinx traps. Made Seraphine had to step up at an awkward angle. She got hit by the Grand Entrance, and a clean 2v2 kill over the final boss here. Final boss with a nice early lead with a kill onto Jinx, as Asteria fortunately able to backstep those traps there, and then an early kill onto Spartan. Now this Pantheon, we were talking about the patch. That is another champion that actually wasn't touched in the nerf category. A bit surprising to me personally, but still very, very strong and very scary once he gets ahead. So much damage. I mean, just raw damage with items, scales pretty well. Definitely a scary pick in the jungle, especially when he can kind of just walk to whatever lane, R to whatever lane he wants, and point click stun you.
He hasn't been touched since patch 14.20, so that is last year.
That is last year.
And
it's okay.
considering
it's not
how
like
Spico was a milking Pantheon jungle for a bit, it's pretty good. Oh, the killer instinct going in is under tower, and the tower is just not enough to kill the Kaisa Neversaw with a free trade onto Pyrosis, and that's going to be Feat of Warfare over the Final Boss Esports.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see confidence coming out from that in these 80 carry lanes. Is Ryan looking for a heavy trade on the cookies here? Oh, does get hit by the rupture, but it looks like he's just going to be able to walk it out. As I was saying, Neversaw just, calculating the shield was just enough to survive the turret shot, got the last auto off, and Pyrrhus is dying in the 1v1.
Not exactly what you want to see. Heiko was forced to flash as well. Sorry, wasn't able to secure the kill in the mid lane. So that's another resource down for Marty's fan club with no proper return. As Final Boss Esports takes a free potion or Hextech Dragon. Not exactly the best state you want to be, as basically all sides of Marmy's fan club are currently behind in the game.
Yeah, definitely not the greatest start, though. Nobody is behind more than 500 gold at this point, so it's also not the worst start, because just like we talked about, right? Final Boss Esports has to play a really high-tempo game. They have champions that want to fight, want to scrap, and...
Hold up, top might be dead here. Ooh. As another Vorpal place come out, Flash coming out from Ryan. He's not in range, as the Grand Starfall from Spartan comes. Gourmet Cookies is trying to force himself on top of Ryan right now to get the feast, but is unable to. He's run out of mana, and Spartan, with another enhanced Comet Spear, gets a second kill from top lane.
Yeah, props to Ryan there, predicting the Cho'Gath flash, able to instantly Kingslayer to heal up and make sure that he didn't get executed by Cho'Gath's Eat. And Gourmet Cookies, unfortunately, taking another death due to a Spartan gank.
Yeah, that Kingslayer is definitely doing a lot more work than I thought earlier, so it's keeping him just out of the execution range, and I'm sure Gourmet Cookies is being very excited about being edged out of his ultimate executor. So props to Ryan on that play, as the flap is canceled bot lane, his mom is called down, doesn't hit anybody, but Essence is backing up. Volta and Essence are both below 50% HP. Marmy's fan club bot lane is looking super good right now. The True Shot Barrage did go bot lane, but I don't think it hit either of the targets. Maybe the Jinx, she's currently at like 10% HP. The HUD is
very low.
Yeah. But it's just
forced back off.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised they didn't go for a dive there, or just, try to force out. I guess Jinx doesn't have any stuns. I'm really surprised they didn't go for a dive there, especially with having heal and flash on Asteria and Sunshine, but instead deciding to take the safe recall. Spartan was in the area, so sometimes taking a safe recall just for tempo like that can work in your favor, especially on this scaling team, right? Just like we talked about, they don't necessarily need to do anything. They just need to, stay in the game enough to scale into monsters.
Yeah, I guess Asteria just wants to make sure that, they're already behind. They don't want to make any risky plays. Already. But the Super Mega Death Rocket does hit Pyrosis, but he's just fine. Neversaw does have the Killer Instinct up, just in case that she does hit the Void Seeker. But I feel like at that point, the Void Seeker is just going to kill the enemy anyways. Well, he's doing his best to hold the wave. Spartan might be trying to look for something. As the teleport comes out from Pyrosis, Shield Vault goes on top. Spartan is Heiko's unable to get the parallel convergence hit stun. But he might be trying to edge it out here. A little risky though, because Comet does have so much damage, and Comet gets another kill. Heiko goes down, and that's 3 kills onto Spartan. Well, bot lane, the Grand Entrance knocks up Asteria, and he's getting forced out of his fight. The flash comes out, his quickness from Essence doesn't connect. but it's so dangerous.
Yeah, Heiko unfortunately just disrespecting the stun duration from Pantheon there, isn't able to recall time with his R, and does just die to a stab from the Comet Spear. As Spartan picking up an early Eclipse here, this champion is a monster. His R just came back up. This is very scary with the second set of grubs spawning in just now.
This Grand Starfall can basically reach mid lane and maybe close to his Raptors at this point. I don't really know the range too well because I don't pay attention to my own range. I just press R on the map and pray to God that I'm moving there. But this Pantheon having so much global presence is going to be quite of a nightmare as Heiko is currently getting absolutely mollywop topside. The Chrono Break comes out, but there's not enough room or healing to do anything with it. It's just going to be a free kill over to Neversaw as they take the grubs. This is not looking good at all for Marmy's fan club at the moment.
Yeah, Heiko unfortunately disrespecting tempo, skipped all of his camps just to call it out. All three bot side camps are up as well as both his Grump and his Wolves in the blue side there. Ran straight to the grubs after dying mid lane. He did get one grub, which got his team to 4, but he died again for it. And now with a huge gold advantage in both the mid lane and the jungle for Final Boss Esports. Not the best situation as this Echo is just so far behind now.
You know, maybe he just wants to make sure that he gets more deaths on the leaderboard over time. Speaking of which, Grand Starfall in the entrance and quickness just absolutely chain CC Hysteria as Sunshine Beans is forced to walk under tower. The Ignite comes out followed by a Comet Sphere. That's going to be another kill over to Spartan. He's on a rampage right now at 12 minutes into the game.
I mean, you called it, Gar. He pressed R on his minimap, walked into range, and the Smolder died.
I'm gonna be real, guys. The early game is already your weak part, and it's not look too great for you. So hopefully Marmy's fan club, with the amount of play team that they have on their team, they should be able to take these next few fights. They just really need to slow down a little bit. Heiko is going in for a steal, but is unable to do it as the Flame Choppers root him up. He doesn't have anything to get out because he doesn't have his Chrono Break up. And it's going to be another free kill for Neversaw. Oh no.
Yeah, you were talking about slowing it down. Apparently, they misheard and thought you said speed it up and decided to go for a Dragon Steal on the second dragon of the game there. Not sure if I really agree with the play. It was a decent try, but did miss the smite and died anyway, so just a bigger advantage going into this mid jungle. As Neversaw looking for a solo here on the Pyrosis.
Pyrosis is doing his best to dodge. The Killer Instinct does come out. The Lethal Template stacks with both flash over the wall, and Neversaw with the Icathian Rain gets on a rampage against Pyrosis. It's just clear lane domination from Final Boss Esports so far.
Yeah, and Neversaw with the clean movement, able to step.
Hold on, we might have something coming in on bot lane as the Seraphine ulti only lands into their con, but there's so much damage. Mob does his best to try to deal with Alta as much as possible, but it's just not enough. Alta's on a killing spree now, 3 kills. The Void Seeker does hit Heiko, but he doesn't, or Neversaw doesn't have Killer Instinct. Oh my god, the shield fall actually reaches as Chrono Break does come out. He's not going to be able to get a kill out to Neversaw as Neversaw goes unstoppable in 13 minutes.
Yeah, and
Really,
Neversaw
13-0.
13-0, 13 minutes. We're at a kill per minute, but only one team has kills.
I don't
Definitely.
know, guys. I don't. Oh, you go first.
Yeah, no. It's just, you just don't love to see that. It's a very scary situation. Neversaw with the evolved Q on Kai'Sa just picked up the Essence Reaver as well. A 2-item Kai'Sa at 14 minutes with an evolved Q. That is quite hard to play into, especially when you have no frontline outside of your Cho'Gath, who is also pretty behind.
Yeah, especially with the Rod of Ages build on the Cho'Gath right now, it's looking way more for like a 25-minute game to like actually have Marmy's fan club do anything. But I feel like 25 minutes is too at this point, considering how much of a gold lead all of the lanes have at this point. Hold on, we got an abduct from topside over Ryan. Heiko is in the bad spot. The smite comes over to the drop as they take the blast gun over back to the first tower. But Ryan does not want to let up. The abduct forces Heiko to flash. Gourmet Cookie's trying to look behind. True Shot Barrage hits all 3 members. Gourmet Cookie's forced to take everything, and they're just beating into him right now. The abduct hits over the tower wall, and that's going to be a double kill over to Ryan. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Pyrosis does get a return kill on Spartan, but he's zoned off by Neversaw right now. He doesn't have any resources. Neversaw doing her best to try to kite over the blue buff, resetting her supercharge, but I don't think she's going to be able to reach Pyrosis. Pyrosis loops over, hoping to try to get a return kill on Orion under tower. Holy crap. Distance Box does manage to land as the Arcane Shift hits. The red buff tick is slowing him, but the Mystic Shot misses. A Ducks from Ryan hits, followed by the Kingslayer. There's going to be so much damage. Pyrosis is just going to win in autos. Never mind, the Kingslayer comes out, and the Escada Duck hits, and Ryan gets a return kill onto Ezreal. Oh my god, dude. I thought it was going to be a free kill for Pyrosis.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. Ryan playing it so well, dodging everything he needed to, hitting every
Hold on,
skill
Grand Starfall coming bot lane right now.
Lane.
The Quakeness comes out followed by Mom, but it's not going to be enough. Asteria is doing his best to get as much damage as possible onto the Essence, but he flashes away. The Zap lands on by Balta, and that's going to be a double kill. Spartan, there's so much happening in this game. What is going on?
I am in shock, Gar. The game was looking bad, and unfortunately for Marvy's fan club, it is not looking any better than it was. In about a minute, they threw over another 5 kills, and it went from 13-0 to 18-1. Now, they did pick up the Spartan shutdown, but they have just been losing so much across the map.
Speaking of losing a lot of the map, Gourmet Cookies is not looking to be in a really great spot as the Rupture does hit Ryan. He's forced to walk away, but the Red Blood Slow is too much. He has Scott of Duck hits over the wall, and Gourmet Cookies is probably just going to have to die here, doing as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, bot side, Heiko is trying to do as much as possible with the phase dive, but it's just not a lot of damage onto Volta. And Gourmet Cookies is probably going to go down and he's trying to get the first tower topside. Quickness does not go off as Heiko actually with a phase dive with kills Volta there. Oh my god. Oh, you rushed Lichbane, that's why.
Yeah, it's just so much damage coming out from those Echo autos, and like you said, the phase shift, the execute damage on his W, just the passive. A lot of damage when people get low, and Jinx, unfortunately, overstepping a little bit, does step into Echo's auto range and does fall at the back end of that play. Pretty well played by Heiko to get back into the game, right? Like, yes, he died, and it's not great to be dead for another objective with the Herald going over towards the side of Final Boss, but he picked up another shutdown onto Falsa here, so you know this might be what you need to get back into the game. You need that gold injection.
Yeah, I think at this rate they have to play for desperation plays because they are so behind right now. They're almost down 9k at this rate, so any single gold play like worth it. They did grab first tower top and they also grabbed his Rift Herald, but Neversoft following in from the quickness. The Killer Instinct is going to be able to secure a kill on the Pyrosis as he tries to do his best to run away. Grand Entrance hits. And Neversaw is dominating this game.
Yeah, and well played by Essence to pop the quickness right away, so Kaisa can just Killer Instinct in there immediately and get the burst damage down. So again, once again, well played to Final Boss Esports. And I haven't been calling out.
Also might be called out here by the Lichbane Heiko, followed by Mom. Sunshine does get the kill onto Volta. They're on the board now. They have tripled their kills in the last 2 minutes. Uh-oh, but Heiko's in a pretty bad spot. The Chrono Break does go out as he tries to run away from Essence's Grand Entrance. But he's not going to be able to run away from Neversaw, who is crazy right now. She's currently godlike. That TP comes out from Ryan as they look to shove down this mid lane and get a free Infernal Drake.
Yeah, this Kaisa just keeps getting stronger and stronger, huh? 10 CS per minute as well. That is a scary woman in a purple skin-tight suit. Obviously very scary to anybody, especially women, you know. Anyways, Ryan.
Crazy.
Oh my god, I've been called out all game. I think Ryan going Rod of Ages this game is genius, by the way. Having that extra HP on Silas on top of the Cho'Gath R stacks as well makes it so hard for him to get bursted down by Gourmet Cookies on the Cho'Gath that he's playing against. I just think that is such like smart heads-up itemization. And then the Riftmaker coming out as well for the Omnivamp, even more HP. Just I think such a smart way to purchase items in this situation.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be in a lot of brawls with Cho'Gath, and the longer you last with a Riftmaker, the more efficient it becomes. But I don't know, I feel like the Cosmic Drive probably could have been a good buy too, just getting you a lot of movement speed. And
that's true. I just think with the infinite stacking of the Cho'Gath stacks, he wants to min-max the AP from Riftmaker.
Gosh, right, because you get like 2% AP based off your Mona's health or something.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact answer, but it's something like that. So.
Speaking of numbers. There's going to be a number adding up on the Spartan skills, maybe. Oh, Gourmet Cookies is just going to walk it out. He's too much health right now.
And it does look like Marmy's fan club is going to start up the Otacon here since Spartan showed topside now. This is an objective that takes a lot of time to kill as Final Boss Esports are rotating down towards it. It is shredding everyone on Marmy's fan club here. Are they going to be able to finish it in time? Or are they just going to get bursted down?
Yeah, the problem with Otacon is that it reduces your armor by 50%. As you can tell, the Jinx Super Mega Death Rocket blows up everybody, and that's going to be 4 kills for nothing over the Final Boss Esports.
And they leash
take the Otacon and the flowers. Oh, this is not a great look.
No, and Cookie's the only survivor on topside here. Will Ryan go for the dive just to ego the ace? I'm excited to see. I'm assuming he won't, but, you know, sometimes you can't resist the urge.
Uh-oh. The Abscond doesn't go over the wall, and he's forced to flash out with the blast cone, but I think not dying is just as good as possible. Wait, Gourmet Cookies might know. The rupture hits, and he gets into the push. This probably is going to be a feast. And that's cut down over the Gourmet Cookies. That purple dinosaur will not let up.
Gourmet Cookies is on the board. His first kill of the game coming in at 21 minutes. Beautifully played. The Q coming out of vision, finding Ryan in the bush, and able to secure the kill there. And a shutdown, not to mention. That was an 800 gold kill, almost.
Yeah, that is that brought their lead back up from a 10k deficit down, or like 11k deficit to a 10k. So this could be a winnable game, folks. Despite popular belief, there's a possibility where this happens. I don't know how many stacks Smolder has at the moment. I'm hoping he's at like 200 at this point, because man, this game is getting pretty brutal pretty fast.
Yeah, Smolder being at a lot of stacks. Yeah, Smolder at 180 stacks there. Not a ton of hope with that. Smolder needs to get online yesterday to save this game. Like you said, it's a 10k gold lead. Now, I have seen bigger leads thrown. I've thrown bigger leads myself. But if we're going with how the game's been played so far, Final Boss Esports looking pretty untouchable and pretty comfortable with their lead here.
At the very end of the day, regardless of the result of this game, this is not going to be a repeat between Rookies and Queens versus Elo Surfers. I have been told that I'm stupid, and it was the wrong team. It was Rookies and Cream versus 1,000-year-old Dynasty. But regardless, it is not a flawless game, so they have that under their belts, as they're looking to siege the mid lane tower right now. You do have Neversaw in the back of the Grand Starfall. Is going to land on top of the stairs, followed by the Killer Instinct. There's so many people being blown up, and Sunshine takes the Super Mega Death Rocket to the face. Commissar finishes off Pyrosis, and that's going to be a 4-0 over for Final Boss Esports, potentially a 5-0, as Neversaw ends this with a double kill, and that's going to be an ace for Final Boss Esports as they run down mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the end of the game here, Gar. With the Jinx resets, if they have people tank for the towers too, I know they don't have many, but they do have another wave coming in. With these respawn timers, I'm not sure that they have the wave.
I think
it doesn't look like they're going to end it. I think I was a little bit hasty on that, but
this is
they should be able to get an inhibitor at least.
No, they're going to get this
power. 100%. Yeah.
Only having 2 grubs, they are doing mad damage to towers.
That is what happens when you're up 10k gold, 13k gold. Unfortunately, you do a lot of damage to everything on your screen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Marmy's fan club is gonna have to deal with 2 open lanes right now as inhibitors go down both top and mid.
But hear me out, right? Two lanes. I think we're thinking the same thing. That's more stacks for Smolder as his whole team in his face. Unfortunately, the team not thinking of that one quite yet, but Smolder being able to pick up the scraps there, get a couple more stacks towards his evolution.
He's so close, dude. He can taste it on his lips right now as he runs up to this mid lane. He doesn't care if anybody's there. He just wants to make sure he gets these last stacks. But Neversaw and Ryan are hunting around like sharks right now. A simple Void Seeker and Abduct will spell disaster for Hysteria if he gets caught out.
Yeah, Hysteria. Oh
Speaking
my
of
god,
Void Seeker and a Killer Instinct, Neversaw goes in. She's crazy. Super Mega Death Rocket goes out, but it doesn't hit anybody because Neversaw already killed the target. Neversaw is going crazy. She uses the Supercharge to try to chase down Gourmet Cookies. Meanwhile, bottling Pyrosis is getting absolutely ran down by Ryan. This is a beefy Silas that you don't typically see, as the Infernal Soul is blasting Pyrosis. That's just going to be a dead Twink.
Sorry, you just stunned me a little bit with that one. You're not wrong, but these are the moments to pick the Smolder for, right? This is the Smolder V1. This is like his moment to shine. So it's all up to Asteria to save this game, I think. Gourmet Cookies just needs to stand in the way and buy as much space as possible while Asteria hopefully is able to somehow kill everyone, convince, or mind control everyone to walk into the fountain, but Cookie's getting forced very low, flashing out,
Martin,
Martin
yep,
flashing back
Martin
in.
flashing in with the shield ball, followed by Never Stop
Ooh,
with Killer Instinct, and they're going to try to kill off Heiko with the Void Seeker flash. Instantly gets a kill, and Zanya's away from the Grand Encore. Just not able to get anything. Meanwhile, the shutdown goes over to Gourmet Cookies, and another shutdown goes over to Pyrosis, but that's just going to be game. And first game goes over to Final Boss Esports after a dominating performance.
yeah, I mean, just incredibly well played by Final Boss Esports. They kept it clean the whole time. They didn't all five walk into the fountain at the end, so they were able to get the last hit on the Nexus and take the dub. I believe it was 34-6. So not a ton to say overall. Just I think, like you caught on the draft, I had a little more faith in the scaling. Final Boss Esports just played out the draft much better. They did also pick Jinx, and they were able to win.
Yeah, Jinx OP and low elo and mid elo and high elo and every elo
What
really.
are you trying to say about her? Yeah, I was gonna say Jinx is OP everywhere, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna throw that one to the drafts. We're gonna toss it to the bin. We'll cook something up with that. But
Hmm.
they played it absolutely flawlessly with how they wanted to do it. They got their early leads everywhere, and because Marmy's fan club weren't able to scale at all in any of these lanes, they just they literally couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I honestly, a lot of credit to Spartan punishing Echo's weak early ganking and just playing a much higher tempo, affecting these lanes early. And as soon as both Ryan and I can't think of the name, sorry, but the Jinx got ahead, it was
Volta.
just yeah, Falta. They just took over and never gave anybody any room to breathe on the side of Marmy's fan club. It was just complete lane domination after those early ganks,
Yeah, it definitely was the slaughterhouse for Final Boss Esports, but
for
we'll
sure.
see how Marmy's fan club adjusts the draft. Maybe they don't draft Smolder and play for complete late game, and you know they'll have some adjustments there to help compensate with the fact that maybe we shouldn't be losing the early game that hard. But we'll take it to a break now as we wait for Game 2 draft. Hello and welcome back to the Game 2 draft between Final Boss Esports and Mario's Fan Club. After a dominating performance from Final Boss Esports, they lead the series 1-0. And I hope to see some changes to the draft from Marmy's Fan Club, but, you know, the copium might be over. I don't know how we feel about this. But yeah, once again, this is Gargoomba, and I'm joined by Wancake, and we're here to provide the most excellent entertainment on the cast as possible.
Hey, I was pretty entertained last game. I think you and I had some solid banter. I was laughing.
Yeah.
For for a stompy game that was not too boring from my perspective. Now I do want to call out Marmy Fan Club did decide to switch sides, take the red side here. Gets counter pick. I think, when you lose on a side, it's often good to just switch it up. And I don't think they made a ton of use out of the B1, so makes sense they didn't want to swap sides here. And Gar, what are your keys to this draft? What do you think they need to do differently?
Well, for starters, let's get rid of that smolder pick because let's be honest, it didn't really do much. I feel like Asteria does way better onto like early to mid game champions. I mean, it's pretty hard for him to pick Asteria with Sunshine Bees just off of the pulls that they have. But maybe something like the Ash, or maybe even taking the Jinx themselves would be much stronger for their favor. Uh, but outside of that, I think the Cho'Gath pick was fine. It definitely held its worth despite the constant battling happening across the map, and he wasn't really there to help with it. But I think overall the Cho'Gath pick was fine. I think the Echo was really strange. I won't say it was bad, but it was strange. There were a lot of plays around the map that definitely could have been avoided. Because I'm sure everyone saw like the first 10 or so minutes, there was a lot of deaths that probably didn't need to happen. Uh, But yeah, I want to just see like an overall overhaul of this draft because outside that Cho'Gath, everything looks kind of ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you called it out. The Echo Jungle was, like I said before the game, still I think my least favorite pick. I think it kind of sucks, but right now I think the jungle meta is relatively slave meta. You just have to play a boring champ and win the game for free. Lock in the Sejuani, the Vi, the Jarvan, Xin Zhao, Wukong, just something. Any of the old reliables. I think they're all very good and fix pretty much any draft. Like you said, the Cho'Gath is fine. Any other tank is also fine. Biggest thing there is just like try not to die to the Pantheon on his full clear timer gank. That was right at I think it was like 340 or something. So not surprising that he'd be up there at that time. And bot lane for Marmy Fan Club, I want to see them not get killed in the 2v2, Blowing sums is one thing, but they blew sums, walked up, and were killed 2v2 like immediately after. So, especially into like Chinks for Con, that is not a strong early game bot lane. So, fixing a lot of those small mistakes as well as just the draft as a whole, I think are some of the key points here.
Yeah, going off of the champions that they play, I feel like a Misfortune Leona would go pretty crazy into Final Boss Esports. Uh, because what Sarah has picked that champion 7 times throughout the entire like season. I feel like being able to play for Wombos is probably their best bet at getting something done. Uh, Especially since I feel like Leona Misfortune 2v2 is much stronger than Seraphine Smolder by a mile. So we'll see as the draft develops on how they want to play that. Uh I think Pyrosis probably should
Oh.
be on an AP mid pick. Uh I don't know exactly what he's going to be looking for. I think the Zoe would be pretty fun, but knowing that he's going to be playing against Neversaw is going to be pretty difficult to actually commit to that. Uh Aiko, I just need him to, settle down
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Marmy's
We
fan
good?
club also taking the Pantheon away here, which is something that we had talked about actually in between the games. So I'm happy to see them banning out Spartan as the Gragas getting locked in. I believe that's a flex. Do you know if Pyrosis also plays Gragas or no?
It'd be the first time I heard about him playing Gragas.
Well, it should be a top jungle flex then. So I know Spartan plays it, and I believe Ryan has some games on it. So a solid B1 there from Final Boss Esports.
There is a universe where Essence may play the Gragas support. I know it's not as strong anymore considering the passive did get nerfed. That was kind of the whole reason that he was a support. Uh, But yeah, that Gragas first pick is definitely a pretty strong thing. And judging by the fact that Marmy's fan club did ban the Smolder on the second ban, I'm guessing that means that the B1 Smolder was supposed to be a pick away from Volta and Neversaw.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. And I do want to call it. They did lock in the Oriana here. I I know they like to cook some stuff up, but I'm assuming that's just going to Pyrosis in the mid lane. So seems they decided to take your advice and just get a pretty standard AP mage mid, strong laning, and isn't going to be doing anything like too spectacular to try to 1v1 Neversaw.
Hey, at the very end of the day, this Tristana could be a pseudo Malphite, and that Malphite is gonna be able to get this Ori ball straight into their faces. But we do have a Rakan and Zaya lock-in for Final Boss Esports. Pretty, oh, I would say it's pretty standard. It's a little interesting to have the Zaya locked at the moment because they don't really feel like there's that many engaged threats shown from Army's fan club just yet to warrant a Zaya pick.
I mean, honestly, I think they just played Jinx Rakan. Honestly, if I'm them, you just run it back. It worked last game. They were winning lane. But maybe Zaya's more of a comfort pick, so they decide to go for it. As Jarvan getting locked in into the Zaya, I'm a bit puzzled by that one personally, but I do think Jarvan is still very strong, especially after his Q buffs on this recent patch.
I think they're looking for this Jarvan Oriana combo, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, super super strong. Jarvan Oriana, Nocturne Oriana, anything like that is always very good.
Yeah, I think at the very least you can't really lock the Nocturne into the Zaya just because of the Gleaming Quill ultimate, or not the Gleaming Quill, the I'll
Featherstorm.
figure it out when I look it up, but in the meantime, the Zaya ultimate just prevents Nocturne from being able to do what he wants to do for the next like 1.5 seconds. And that fear also takes time to set up for him too. But at the very least, Jarvan with the Cataclysm, she's still stuck there even in the ultimate, so this
That is
will be
true.
able she the Jarvan will be able to at least provide the setup for his team to have success in.
100%. And I mean, like I said, it's a pick that we've talked about. It's just a reliable AD jungle. It can gank, it can farm. So makes sense they'd lock it in, especially on R3 here. Just get a strong jungle pick and make sure it's not banned out, as both Poppy and Ornn getting banned away from gourmet cookies here. Do you think
I'm
they're
not
gonna run back the Cho top lane? I mean, I guess he does have R5, but what are you thinking for top here? How would
I
you
mean, I
round out that
wouldn't be
comp?
opposed to the chill lock-in. I still am a very happy man if there's a Mundo big Steppa lock-in into the Gragas because I feel like that matchup's pretty free. Uh, I am
Oh,
interested by this Yasuo ban because I don't know if they thought it was jungle or topside. I feel like Ryan is more likely to put the Gragas topside though. Uh, Syndra ban's pretty respectable because Syndra's a really good pick into the Oriana and zones her off from the wave like super well. And just going off the last game, if Pyrosis is behind, it's really difficult for the rest of Marmy's fan club to actually perform in these games. So at least getting rid of counter for him is fine. We do have the Gwen pickup, which we did talk about prior to draft one about, getting that slight rework for her that just is super dominant. Oh my god, we have the
as
Ezreal disrespect pick.
a crazy run back. I guess not a run back, but still, never saw locking it in, going to show Pyrosis how it's done. Just spit in his face, play Ezreal mid, and hopefully the Ezreal mid does a little bit better this time around. The Gwen, I'm pretty confident is top lane here. I know Ryan's a prophilic Gwen player as the Singe
Whoa!
gets locked in by Gourmet Cookies. Now, Singed, if you don't know, Gar, is one of Gwen's worst matchups because he just runs away from her. Last I looked, it was about 42 or 43% win rate for the Gwen side. So a
Holy.
strong pick from Cookies coming in if he can play it.
Maybe I should have picked that in our freaking playoffs game, but I'm also sure that would have been put down by mid too easy if I picked Singe. So, uh, I am curious to see how this top lane goes. We haven't really seen a Singed pickup in a while since ISO Didax played it last season, and I'm not sure if he picked it this season as well. Uh, but yeah, if this Gwen pick is going to be top lane, this Singe is going to have a field day from the sounds of it. But I don't know. What if it's Gragas top in the Singe? How would that
Yeah,
go?
the big issue is if they swap it and they play Gwen jungle and Gragas top. I think Gragas has a much better time into the Singe because he can also just kind of proxy if he wants, and Gragas doesn't really care if he's free farming and scaling. And anytime Cinch tries to fight, you can kind of just body slam him. Gragas doesn't really care if you try to run away from him. It's not the most fun match in the world, but he definitely has a better time than Gwen.
All right. Well, regardless of that, I don't know. Do you like this Marmy fan club draft or the Final Boss Esports draft more?
Um, I I'm not sure how I feel about either, to be honest. The Xayah feels really out of place for me for Final Boss because there's just not that much dive. Like Tristana doesn't have to jump in if she doesn't want to. It's really only Jarvan, and even if he jumps in, like you said, she's still gonna be stuck in the Cataclysm and have to burn Flash afterwards. Um, but I also don't really know what Marmy's fan club is really looking to do. I was just told it's Gwen top as well, so we're gonna have to see how Ryan plays that into the Singed and if Cookies has the ability to really punish that.
Yeah, but at the very least, I feel like Marmy Fan Club definitely have a much better identity of how they want to be playing towards team fights and at least getting the setup going so that they could potentially flat back against Final Boss Esports. But we're going to take it to a quick break as we wait for Champion Select and the Spectator Delay to come out. So, get that copium up if you're a Marmy Fan Club fan. And cheer on Final Boss Esports if you want a nice duo domination. Welcome back, Summit Esports, to the start of Game 2 between Final Boss Esports and Marmy's Fan Club. Unfortunately, I made a in-between game bet that if I don't have it fulfilled, PPP won't pay me, and it's going to be a bit of a problem if that's the case. For those who are not wondering, I said that the team that would get the first 5 kills will win the series, and this may not be true story, so please win, Smile. But regardless of that, I'm joined by Juan Cake again, and we're ready for a nice show.
Yeah, hello, Gar. I do want to ask though, what happens if neither team gets 5 kills? What if the final score is like 4-2, and then the next explodes?
Are we freaking playing in LPL right now?
LPL is bloody, bro. Speaking of
Oh,
which,
you're
LPL
so right.
started again today. I stayed up all night to watch the games. I was so excited. I love LPL, man.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
does Test look so far?
Test hasn't played yet. They play in 2 days. I cannot
Okay.
wait to hate watch them. They, yeah, Tess inted me at first stand. I was cheering them on very hard, and honestly, while they suck and are probably banned from a lot of restaurants in China, I
Oh,
I think it was Riot's fault because they made lane swap meta for everyone that went to first stand, and then the patch that first stand was played on, they removed lane swaps. So it's Riot's fault that Tess mental moved, and it's definitely not the Jackie Love 369 curse. Smile.
Jackie Love 369 giveth and Jackie Love 369 taketh away. And unfortunately for this first stand tournament, they took away.
They took
Speaking of
away a lot.
taking away, Ryan is taking away this HP from Gourmet Cookies as he's forced to flash away. That is a level 2 Gwen. Oh my god, I didn't think the patch for that was that brutal, but Gourmet Cookies unfortunately
Yeah.
doesn't have TP to return to the lane, so this is going to be a really huge minion wave crash, and you can't back off of that.
That is not what you want to see from your no TP cinched here. As Heiko early ganking mid, but never saw any push to Arcane shift away from it. Iris is looking for a lot of pressure here.
Oh, the Mystic Shot's planning and never saw his force to flash away. But both Pyrosis and Neverstar currently have like 0 HP. There's not a lot of possible between either. Heiko tries to flash Dragon Spear, but is unable to do it as Ryan is ganking mid at the top laner. He doesn't have this wagon flag away, and oh my god, the snip takes the kill for Ryan. His first blood goes over to Final Boss Esports once again.
Ryan making a ton of use out of his top lane pressure, roaming down to mid at 3 minutes and able to pick up a kill as Spartan looking for Pyrosis here and picks it up. Unbelievable. I mean, what a well-aimed Q. Pyrosis unfortunately was in the shop and didn't quite see the fat man on his screen above him.
You know what they say, the window shopper gets the bomb in their face. No one says
Is that what they say, Gar? I don't think
that.
I've heard that one before.
No one says that.
Oh, so you're just lying to our viewers now, I see.
Whoa. Lying? No. Potentially being corrected in the future? Maybe.
Uh-huh. Oh, so we just have to start everyone to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. The freaking Phantom Tax didn't start on one day. Meanwhile, bot lane, there's a huge fight happening. Asteria does land the rocket jump and the bouncing charge. Asteria knocks down Essence of Pegasus. That's going to be a first kill for Marmy's fan club. A new world record for them in this playoffs match.
Yeah, true. They got their first kill much sooner into the match this time around. Assyria also looking just a lot better off of the smolder, I have to say it. It looks like the Ryan
Uh-oh,
actually,
might
I'll
be
hold
some
the thought. Could
teaming
be in trouble.
outside.
Heiko hiding in the bush.
Gwen is immune, but unfortunately the immunity only lasts when you're not in the circle with her, as a nice fling will secure the kill over to Heiko. That's going to be 2 kills there, Marmy's fan club. They're speedrunning their kills now.
Yeah, all they need is a couple more and they've matched last game. Unfortunate for Ryan to die there too. He TP'd back to lane and Heiko with the nice lane gank. Bit of a rage gank. Like this is one as a top laner where you just like facepalm it. You're like, okay, I killed that guy mid lane, so he just comes and sits in the top lane brush. But Ryan gonna be put very, very far behind to the cinch. But I stand corrected actually. He is still up 200 gold, funnily enough.
And that 200 gold is that one dagger that he has in his inventory right now. And
Yeah, what a useful component.
Okay, just because it got nerfed from 15% attack speed to 12% for 50 gold doesn't mean it's a bad item.
Right, true. Dagger is so good actually. Gar, you're just a Yasuo player. You are like hoping making dagger feels good. It only feels good on Yasuo. That is the only champ in the game that cares. And Yone, obviously, but that is it.
Dude, sometimes I don't even freaking get a dagger really. I just go for the move sets. But
Wow.
early
You have no
stuff,
ego, I
the
guess.
grand entrance from Asteria is, or grand entrance from Essence lands on Asteria. We're not going to talk about Yasuo because there is no Yasuo in this game, right? So Heiko is going to absolutely sit. He's got his tents and pitchfork ready. He's going to be looking to get on top of Falta, but he's being super patient right now. Some might even think he's ult right now. Nice
my
flag,
god.
followed by the rocket jump, hits onto Falta. He's forced to flash away and bury, but it's not enough as Seraphine will secure the feat of warfare for Marmy's fan club. They are now the first time where they have a gold lead advantage over Final Boss Esports this series.
Yeah, and Heiko, once again, another lane gank, really making use of the Jarvan early strength here. You got to give him a lot of props, right? We saw the Echo struggle last game. Heiko switching like character identity as a whole, picking an entirely new champion, an entirely different idea, and making just so many good ganks and getting a lot of pressure for his team early into game 2 here.
Yeah, and this Gourmet Cookies, even though he's slightly behind, he's really showing this like champ difference for Gwen versus Singe. But we do have Spartan sitting in the top tri-bush looking for something. He is level 6, so the explosive cast will be able to send Gourmet Cookies home in a heartbeat. He's forced to ulti and ghost away. 1,000 cuts comes out, but there's not landing any of them, and he's flinging away Gragas. The last hit of the ult 3 of 1,000 cuts hits. And Neversaw is here to collect the kill, followed by an Essence Flux. That's going to be a extra gold over to Neversaw. And the possible grubs. Although I'm not sure. Will Gragas live?
I have no clue, actually. The grubs do a decent amount of damage, but it looks like his pet's just keeping him alive with the AoE on all 3 of those, giving him the healing as well as his passive heal, the damage resist, you know. POV Showmaker gif, you know, the Cassante one, except Gragas in this case. He has percent HP damage, he has 80% slow, he has no mana cost, he has healing.
Heals on
every
cast.
Yeah, what a champ. He has stun, he has airborne. Oh my god, what a smite.
Heiko repeating the exact same thing he tried to do on the Echo, but with success this time as he's able to steal away a grub. That means the Final Boss Esports do not get a feat of monster slaying stack.
This is a changed team, Gar. Not only did he steal away the grub, he also lived. Heiko putting on a jungle clinic so far. He is down 400 gold, but he's having so much impact.
Listen, to some, Heiko not dying there is a benefit. To others, Heiko not dying there may be screwing up their parlays.
Yeah, the parlays.
Speaking of parlays, another rocket jump from Asteria, looking to get another kill, flashing away from the Blade Caller. And Volta is just forced to walk it off. Asteria with a fully stacked lethal tempo is ready to burn down this tower with the explosive charge. And Volta gonna have to recall, get some extra HP. Maybe buy a pickaxe. Oh my god, he has a pickaxe gold. That's a lot. but he's not going to be in pressure for that. Heiko is bot side, but so is Spartan. There's going to be a bloodbath here in a second.
Yeah, Zaya is walking back the lane. Falta did recall, was able to find the pickaxe, was able to full heal, so could
The
be a lot of
quickness
trouble
comes
with
out, but
Pyrosis.
meanwhile, mid lane Neversaw is getting poked out by Pyrosis right now. The command attack is doing so much work as the explosive cast launches Heiko back near tower. Ignite coming out from Essence as the encore hits. Cataclysm goes out to try to cancel the body slam from Spartan, but it's just not enough as Asterius forces W away. He is exhausted. Wait, he's exhausted. Who exhausted? Oh, it's Sunshine. The exhaust went onto the Gragas. I thought it went onto Asteria, but that's going to be a 1-for-0 trade. Never mind, it was a 1-for-1 trade as Pyrosis solo kills Neversaw in the lane. Please don't check out Trash Talk at this rate, because it won't be a very welcome place there in a second.
Oh my god, that was a crazy fight, Gar. So much just happened. Unfortunately, I'm still not a huge fan of the Zaya pick. It's doing okay if you look at the scoreboard, but if you look at the actual gameplay, Falta struggling a little bit, having being forced out of lane a couple times, taking some not great trades, and this is something that you had touched on, especially on the draft, of the Zaya just not being a fantastic pick, and Asteria using Tristana's early pressure really, really well here to get a lot of plates in bot lane.
Yeah. The issue with Zaya is, at least most people pick her because she's a good defensive option for engage picks. So, you know, you have to deal with the Nocturne, you have to deal with the Vi, you might have to deal with the Zac or something. And by picking Zaya as a response to Tristana and Orianna, it's not exactly a great look, because at that point, you're picking Zaya to try and deal damage, which, you know, is the point of a marksman, right? But, like, Zaya has to have a harder time because she has to set up her feathers, and if she doesn't get a good blade caller off, a lot of the damage that she's going to do is not there. Comparatively, like, the Jinx was up. I know Ashe is a pretty good pick, even if she did get her ults nerfed the patch earlier. But, like, there's a lot of better options if you want to be winning this lane, and Zaya's kind of a very reactive pick.
100%, and his Gourmet Cookies could be in trouble here again. Gonna have to pop the Ghost in the ult to get away. He does flash over the wall, but he should be safe as he ults and just walks away. Ryan trying to cut him off, though. Gourmet Cookies really could be in trouble here.
The Insanity Potion and the Ghost coming down from Gourmet Cookies as he's forced to play, you know, catch the mouse around their jungle, and Spartan will be able to walk home with another kill on his belt. And a
Yeah, I mean,
drive.
props to Spartan too, right? He's kept up with his Jarvan kill participation, actually doubling it with 4 of his own compared to Jarvan's 2. And a 20 CS lead. Spartan playing really, really well, and making sure to punish Jarvan for all the early plays that he went for.
Oh, another fight's happening bot side as the rocket jump comes out from Hysteria. He doesn't have a lot of stuff going on. The Blade Killer lands and followed by the Grand Entrance and the quickness. He's chained CC and unable to react as Falta is just going to run down the Seraphine. But the kill goes over to the Rakan. It's going to be a 2-for-0 for the Final Plus Esports bot lane. I guess the Essence Reavers are all he really needed for the damage.
That was a lot of damage, and honestly, shame on you for blaming the Zaya pick here and saying it was bad. That champ looked OP. It just killed 2 champs almost on its own.
I'm going to cope and say that Asteria rocket jumped a little too early, but we don't blame players here. We hype them up. So really well played from Falta from being able to get the knockout. Honestly, Essence played off his mind.
I would say
waited for the rocket jump.
On the...
Yeah, Essence waited for the rocket jump to land and just was able to follow it up by the Grand Entrance and the quickness. So Asteria literally couldn't do anything during that entire portion. The two-shot barrage does cancel Pyrosis back. He's currently at like 10% HP. And Jarvan Heiko is able to get the grubs. Command Shockwave is burned as he tries to clear the wave. And Gourmet Cookies is, you know, playing PvE Simulator in the enemy bot top line.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Marmy's fan club does have 2 dragons so far, as well as 4 grubs. So in terms of early objectives, they're doing pretty well. Like, yes, they're down 2k gold and they're down a little bit in kills. As Spartan looking for a gank here. But Asteria just going to walk it out.
They have a lot of vision the bot side for that, so not going to happen. Top side, the Needlework comes out, and Gourmet Cookies is taking a lot of damage, but so is Ryan. It's going to be a huge fight to bot side as they catch out Spartan in the Dragon Pit. Another
Yeah, and
shutdown
that's kind of
goes
the
over to Sunshine Bees, which, you know, for Sunshine Bee enjoyers, hey, she's got 2 kills, so that's pretty good, but I believe our gold's better on the carry. Meanwhile, topside, Gourmet Cookies with a nice fling and poison trail gets the kill on Orion, and it's looking to push top tower as much as possible, but we do have Neversaw stalking up on the river, and I think Gourmet Cookies knows that he's trying to run away as fast as possible, but Neversaw is going to arcane shift over this wall to the ground. The flash!
Oh my god, he got the execute. Never saw Will get the XP for that, I believe she was in range, but really, really well played from Gourmet Cookies. Picking up the solo kill on that Leandru spike, by the way, makes Cinch such a strong champion. What an insane item. And then able to walk it out, avoids the Q from Ezreal, and gets the execute. Bit of really making use of that singed R5, right? I wasn't a huge believer, but Cookie's putting in work now that we've hit the 14-15 minute mark.
Yeah, Gourmet Cookies actually smurfing on the Singe a lot more than I thought. Meanwhile, Neversaw is looking for the arcane shift on the mid lane. The Essence Flux does land. Pyrosis is worth the flash as the body slam comes on top side, but Ryan is taken down as he trades for the first tower for Final Boss Esports, and Heiko gets the gold, but Heat of Warfare, it's actually still tied right now.
Yeah,
Wait,
I do want to say Pyrosis picked up the kill onto Spartan there. They were looking for him under the tower. Spartan got a little too close. I believe even took aggro, and then got pulled back by the command shockwave from Oriana and ended up dying. So really well played by Pyrosis to pick up a free kill there for him.
It is a lot of gold being lost due to these towers falling down, but at least Marmy's fan club are going to be able to take trades for this. As the mid tower does go down, Neversaw is reach on. Pyros is looking to keep going there. The command distance might be able to do enough to slow him down. Pyros is looking for a tower die. The arcane shift might be up. Oh my god, the arcane comment and the Luden's companion are going to be able to secure that kill on a Neversaw. Pyros is currently 3-1, which is a much different image compared to earlier.
Don't disrespect the Faded Ashes damage there either. That item did a ton of burn. Like, unironically, that was probably 80, 90 damage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but with a kill like that, it really, really is. As Cookie's proxying another wave. And Marmy's fan club playing out this draft much better. This is not how I expected this game to go, especially after such a stomp. I am very proud of these players for just like stepping up, having the mental to go into game 2 and play it out this way. I mean, they were even losing early, and they've really brought it back, and they're starting to catch up.
Oh, Heiko's coming in with a rocket jump as Hysteria follows up. The Encore hits the Rakan, and that's is forced to exhaust away. As Cataclysm comes down and shuts down Volta, Heiko gets the gold as they try to catch the Dragons here. The body slam is interrupted somehow. The explosive cast separates Hysteria and Heiko away from the Spartan, and he phase rushes away over to the Dragon Pit. The True Chop Barrage lands on nobody. As he looks to prep this Chemtech Dragon, I'm pretty sure Marmy's fan club are in a pretty good position, but can't count out Neversaw with her Mystic Shots. They're doing a lot of damage. It's a Command Shockwave hits 3! Not a lot of damage going to be able to happen there because there's not a lot of follow-up in this series. Definitely not wanting to blind a Rocket Jump into 3 players. But they're going to be able to secure this Chemtech Dragon. This is going to put them at 3 Dragon Souls to 0. So that's a lot better position compared to last series. We do have Ryan splitting on the top side though, and he's looking for as much pressure as possible. His Gourmet Cookies forced to mash it. They get the mid tower. Marmy's fan club is looking a lot more alive as they finally take down their first tower mid lane.
Yeah, Ryan is just doing so much damage in the side lane, splitting as hard as he can. Now, Gourmet Cookie's going to try to get him off his tower, but I'm not even sure he has the damage to kill Ryan fast enough before this tower falls down. There are still 2 minions there, but Ryan, unfortunately, going to take aggro and is going to fall, actually. And another kill going over to the side of Cookies. And I think Ryan, at this point, is kind of looking like the last hope for Final Boss. Not to call the game early, but Marmy's fan club is, like you said, at soul point. In 5 minutes, they have their soul. A fight's going to happen, so it is on Ryan to be as strong as possible at that time, because hopefully your Gwen is able to get there and
hold on, we might have a ball on the top side as Explosive Cats does not launch Gourmet Cookies in the tower, but that's still so much damage. Gourmet Cookies force a flash, but they might be able to spot Heiko on this Herald, which is not a really good look for him as Gourmet Cookies force a flash. The Cataclysm comes out, but the Body Slam knocks up Heiko for a bit. The Explosive Barrel is not enough as he's going to be running out top side. The Body Slam goes over and slows Heiko down, but the Swaggin' Dragon might be able to enough. The Golden Aegis and the Smite secures the kill. Heiko is on a killing spree. This is a 180 compared to last game. What is going on?
Yeah, that is the second Smite kill for Heiko this game as well, so really good uses of his F key to be able to secure that kill there. Very, very talented. But I mean, honestly, the Gragas, as good as it looked early, Spartan's having a bit of an issue getting out of these fights when he's trying to run. Like, yes, he has the Cosmic Drive move speed, but a lot of times we're seeing, whether it's in the Cataclysm or just Jarvan dashing onto him, Gragas' body slam has been getting interrupted many, many times, and Spartan keeps getting caught out in these weird scenarios.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to slow it down just a bit because he isn't tanky. Really, the whole point of Gragan's tanking is just having a lot of health and the W damage reduction. But speaking of no health, oh, the command shockwave does not go onto Volta. I'm pretty sure he was trying to attack move it first. Volta's going to be safe and sound. The barrier is burnt. Gourmet Cookies is going to be shoving topside as the Voracious Otacon is spawned topside, which means it's going to be a free res for those who want to grab it.
Is it finally the res one this time? I thought it was still the flower one.
No, this is the res one. They got the flower one last game.
That's crazy. I'm surprised they had enough kills to get it. I haven't seen that one in so long. I used to hate that one, but now that it like never pops up, I think it's pretty exciting to see Voracious and see the revives and how the teams use it. And honestly, since it's been so long, since that's been a common factor in games, Neversaw.
Hold on, we got Neversaw being caught out here as Heiko is just smacking her with the lands. Neversaw doesn't land the Mystic Shot against the Grand Entrance, tries to stall as much as possible, has to force the flash away, but Cataclysm gets him caught. Asteria gets Neversaw thanks to the explosive charge. And Gourmet Cookie is going to be dancing 1v2 between Ryan and Spartan. The R3 cast from the 1,000 Needles is not enough. It only hits a little bit. The barrel roll does not land. There is the body slam. As Gourmet Cookies is just absolutely having a field day with this Insanity Potion right now. Running between all of them. The Root lands at this Leandro is doing so much work. Ryan goes down. Gourmet Cookies on the killing spree. The Conqueror is stacked up on Gourmet Cookies. The explosive cast blows him away, but that's not a lot of HP as he might go down to the Leandries here. Oh my god, the body slam hits and the barrel roll secures the shutdown. But unfortunately, he goes down to the Leandries. That is a 2-for-1 for Gourmet Cookies, but a shutdown over to Spartan.
Yeah, Cookie's able to win the 1v2 there, getting both of them and trade for his own life. But honestly, I did not think Spartan had it in him to turn that around. So well played to turn that, to get the 1-for-1 at the back end of that fight and get the shutdown like you said. That was insanely well kited, hit the E, charged up the cask just long enough to make it explode and do enough damage to kill Cookies. But that Leandry's burn went crazy. And honestly, and a little bit underrated aspect, on the Insanity Potion, the anti-heal that his gas starts to do can make a lot of difference into champions like Gragas or Gwen that need to heal in these small skirmishes.
Yeah, and I will like to say that the current gold lead between Final Boss Esports and Marmy's Fan Club is literally being held up by the Singed and Seraphine right now. Both of them have a respective 1k lead over their counterparts.
To be fair, Pyrus also has an 800, almost 900 gold lead now, so
True.
not a chump there in the mid lane either, as Ryan did get spotted out here. Try to dash in with needlework.
The blade, their needlework is doing so much damage right now, followed by the barrel. The explosive cast gets Sunshine and Heiko dead, followed by the quickness. Pyrosis forced to flash away, but I don't think there's a lot of room as the flame comes out, as Neversaw is getting absolutely chunked by this Leandries. Essence doing his God's work right now, trying to stall for his team. The Asteria will be able to get the kill, followed by a rocket jump reset. Oh, the lethal tempo reaches, followed by the sticky glue, I think it's called, whatever. The body slam only hits Gourmet Cookies, but the barrel roll hits too, as Ryan is going immune right now. Volta's doing his best with the double daggers, and Gourmet Cookies is not going to be live. He actually takes down the Gragas with it, but Ryan also trades onto Asteria. And the mad scientist is going to have to figure out how to play out this fight. They're going to drag out the Chemtech Dragon outside of the river. Pyrosis did TP pretty far, so he is going to be available for this fight. Volta is going to get rooted, and he's going to get ran down. The command shockwave does not land because Gwen is immune. We love that ability, baby. But the dragon's going so low, and Pyrosis is stuck in his pit. Whoever this dragon's going to be hitting... Oh no, the command attack from Pyrosis lands onto the Xayah, and the Fling with the Blast Cone gets a kill for Gourmet Cookies, and that's going to be Chemtech Soul for Marmy's Fan Club. I think they're going to run straight to the Otacon.
Gourmet Cookies with gourmet gameplay. I mean, that was just a complete Singed V9 team fight. He was running around, he was flipping everyone. So much impact. Even when it looked bad, was able to run in 1v2, stalled for his teammates to get there. I can't believe that. And really, when Ryan used the Hollow Mist to dodge the command shockwave, I really thought he had it in that everyone was screwed. But Cookie's able to turn that around and make that a win for his team.
Unfortunately, Zaya was positioned too close to the wall, and that gave just enough room for Pyrosis to actually get the command shockwave. Or not shockwave, the command attack on the wall. So that kind of just started the snowball for the second half of that fight, and Pyrosis gets the blue buff.
Yeah, and this is
No,
where
get
the
your
level
easy
advantage just
claps in
started
the
to show.
chat, baby. A free blue buff.
Free blue buff is always so nice to have. Gourmet Cookies, after all these plays, is now 3 levels up on Ryan in the sideline here. Pyrosis has a whole level up on Neversaw. Asteria actually down a level to Falta, but that is consequently met by Sunshine being a level up over Essence. But for the most part across the board, Marmy's fan club has a lot of levels here.
Body slam does not hit. The Cataclysm lands Spartan and Essence as the command shockwave hits both of them as well. Asteria does Buster Shot away the Gragas, and there's currently 2 fights happening. The Encore does not hit anybody, but Gourmet Cookie's running in behind. He's going Moxad, and the fight keeps going. Oh my god, there's so much happening. Ryan is forced to run away from Pyrosis, as Pyrosis did get the kill onto Neversaw. And she's going to use her best with the Scryer's movement speed. Nope, the command attack lands again. Oh my god, Pyrosis is crazy with the Oriana, dude.
Yeah. That was nuts. And Asteria, again, dishing out so much damage in these fights, looking much better on the Tristana this game. I really impressed me with how they played it so far. And importantly, I'm not sure how it happened. I'm not sure if Heiko found an angle or if somebody on Final Boss decided to fight, but fighting into those Otacon revives makes it quite hard. And I'm not sure why they took that fight, and they just got punished for it. I mean, they just lose the game off the back of that fight. So, what a comeback. What a way to bring it back to 1-1 by Marmy's fan club here.
Is someone a paid actor? Is that what I'm seeing?
Who do you think is a paid actor,
I'm
Gar?
not getting my money,
You,
bro.
you wanna
Final Boss
you wanna drop a
Esports
get?
got the first 5 kills, and they lost. I am not paying you PPP. Oh no. Well, I will say though, this series definitely showed that it is a very close, or this game showed that this is a pretty close series between these two teams. It's very reminiscent to how they played in the first time they matched off. They did end up 2-1 on favor of Final Boss Esports, but this could be the day that Marmy's fan club upsets the nation, and by nation I mean Summit Esports, and knock out the 3rd seed.
Yeah, I mean, Marmy's fan club riding a huge wave of momentum here. They just need to keep it up. Again, it's not fearless. They have access to all of these same champions again. They can kind of switch with the bands. The biggest thing is it looks like just champion comfort, right? When you put people on champions that they are good at, champions that they are comfortable on, Marmy's fan club played a lot better and were able to keep it up. So impressive gameplay from them. Importantly, I think they also banned the Pantheon. So as long as they keep that up, I think they have a solid chance going into game 3.
Yeah, I think Final Boss Esports is probably going to opt for the red side pick just so they get Ryan counter pick, because as you saw, Ryan was getting kind of dunked on with the counter pick Singe.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before the draft, right? Singe dunks on Gwen, and even though he had he struggled in the early game, right? Singe was quite far behind the Gwen. Unfortunately, he eventually came online and was just unstoppable once that mid game hit.
Yeah, maybe that Gwen level 2 gank mid wasn't all that it chalked up to be.
It seems not a bit unfortunate. I do think Final Boss dropped a couple too many objectives early game, and they just put themselves in a bit of a stranglehold when they came to the late game and trying to contest around these dragons, the Rift Herald, everything. So hopefully they play a little bit of a cleaner early game and focus more on trying to take trades across the map.
But with that, we will take it to the break as we wait for the Game 3 draft. Hold on to your popcorn, folks, and pop open a new bottle of Coke because we are getting ready once they are ready. welcome back, Summit Esports, to the Game 3 draft between Marmy's Fan Club and Final Boss Esports. An absolute slaughterhouse fest. That's total English between both of these teams, as both of them now have a spark of fire in their eyes as they try to bring out this quarterfinals match to a close. Winner takes all. But yeah, this Gargoomba again and One Cake on the board as we're waiting for them to get their draft ready. But what are your expectations of the draft? How do you think they're going to adjust it?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say great intro, Gar. I just thank you for doing that. You're a beast. I do want to call it that final boss, like you said, is on red side. They decide to switch back. So far, red side has been 100% win rate in the series. So we'll see if that's able to keep up. And for draft, I I think it's just first pick the Jinx if it's open. Keep bans the exact same as they were last game, and just first pick Jinx. I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm assuming Asteria is shying away from the Jinx though, because if you go off website stats alone, uh, Asteria has only won one game of Jinx out of five, so not exactly the greatest stat line to show for it. And I'm not sure he's confident in whipping this out on the most important match of the night. So, but we have seen the Jinx like absolutely pop off if it's not taken. And considering how now Volta, after knowing like what happened bot lane, they're probably going to be looking for these like hyper carry comfort picks. And if they don't pick the Jinx first, I don't know what else they're looking to pick then.
Yeah, I think you might have to just ban it on 3 here. Now we'll see if they decide to go for it, but they are banning the Varus instead. Now, if they don't pick the Jinx here, I think probably just run back the Tristana or, really whatever Hysteria is feeling like. But I think there's going to be a very, very important first pick. As Tristana's banned away, I mean, this is a tough situation to be in. I think you just have to uh, man up, get rid of the mental. The past Jinx games don't matter, and you got to lock it in. But the Oriana being locked in instead. Now, to be fair, I think Pyrosis played out of his mind that game on the Oriana. I think that was a pivotal pick. Made a ton of solo plays that game, very importantly. So, makes sense that they'd lock that in as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely considering that the Ezreal pick seemed a little disrespectful from Neversaw. I do think that they needed AP on, or they needed more AD on the team because they did draft the Gragas and the Gwen, but maybe not Ezreal as your answer into the Oriana, as we have a Rek'Sai lock-in. Very surprising, actually, to come out in Spartan.
Yeah, Spartan, a proficient Rek'Sai player, so deciding that he wants to slam it, maybe after he sees the Oriana, he knows that, she's quite immobile and is very, very vulnerable, sorry, to Rek'Sai ganks, so makes sense that he'd want to lock that in, especially with Pantheon already being banned.
Yeah, perhaps the Pantheon was the secret to their sauce, and the Rek'Sai is probably the second best thing. It's not exactly a point and click, but it's a pretty easy knock up to land if you literally just walk at him. Uh, but we have Essence returning with the Rakan, so that's going to be 3 Rakan games in a row, and he's proven himself pretty strong on it.
Yeah, I think both games have been a solid showing from Essence. Unfortunate that they did lose last game on it, but I don't think that was too much to his fault. I think Rakan did about as much as he could in that scenario, so I'm happy to see that come out for a third time here as Ezreal getting locked in. I
Oh
believe
my
Ezreal
god.
is 0% win rate so far, correct? It
That
lost
is
6
correct. It
games.
lost on Pyrosis game 1. It lost on Neversaw game 2. So is Asteria gonna break the curse of Ezreal and bring it to a 1-3? Or is Ezreal just gonna be you know, it's like the stinky cheese touch. You don't want to ever pick him anymore.
Yeah,
They are
and the
literally just
Gragas
trading
getting locked in as
picks.
well. That's crazy. I guess they just wanted to steal that away. Even though Jungle was already shown, maybe they're worried about Ryan playing it. I'm assuming that's Gragas top, but I guess it could be a Gragas support. There's always a chance.
Gourmet Cookies has played quite a few Gragas talkings. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? So
But the
always a good
Volibear,
blind pick. Just kind of slam it.
I will say the Volibear is open this time though, so I was expecting a Volibear game out of him.
Real the
Oh,
Yasuo. That
that's a
is
Ryan
Ryan.
Yasuo.
Now is that a Ryan Yasuo bot or is that Ryan Yasuo top into the Gragas? Do you know?
I don't know if Falsa plays top lane, so we'll have to see how desperate it gets as we know from last season and the season before, yeah, Ryan has shown off quite a bit. Yeah, Ganking Private Ryan. Yasuo bot was his forte, and it's proven to be a lot of work done for GPR at the time. But I don't know if they're going to be flexing Ryan bot for this. I feel like this is just going to be a Yasuo top in the Gragas, but the Gragas typically would have a pretty good time in the Yasuo because once the wind wall goes down, this is a Gragas you're talking about. He's just going to body slam or phase rush away from you and just laugh it off.
Yeah, I mean, gotcha. So I was just told the empty ban there, Gar, is in fact a Viego ban. So a strong
Oh,
jungler being banned away also makes sense that they believe the Gragas is top. And I just want to comment on that as well. Even if Gragas doesn't go phase rush, I think he can go grasp at Yasuo and still does plenty of damage and has a good time. So a little bit surprising if they do decide to send this Yasuo top, especially in a playoffs sudden death game 3 here.
honestly, I would laugh if Gourmet Cookies wants to do the ego check and he goes Gragas with Electric Ignite.
That would be crazy. I'd love it though, man. That would be so exciting.
We do have the Zaya and Cassidon ban, which, as you've seen from previous series and from this series, the Zaya combo is definitely a little annoying. I don't think it's as much of a problem still, considering that they don't really have any dangerous all-in buns from Marmy's fan club, but they definitely want to keep Volta off of comfort picks. And the Cassidon, with what their draft is right now, absolutely runs over their team. So really
The
good choice for
Kaisa, you
that.
mean? But yeah.
Oh, I was just talking about the Cassidon ban. I think the
Oh,
Cassidon
my
ban is
mistake.
smart.
Sorry.
Yeah, but this Kaisa is coming out. We don't know if it's bot or mid just yet because of the Neversolve Volta Flex. I'm more inclined to believe that is a Kaisa pick for mid just because the Oriana has been shown since B1. Uh, but we're not entirely sure there. We do have the Seraphine lock-in again once for Sunshine, so that's going to be another Seraphine game for Sunshine, and that means Seraphine for the entire series. So both supports not really straying from their picks at this point.
No, and the B5 coming in here. It should be the jungler, we're assuming, and it's just going to be a Vi locked in. So makes sense. I mean, she's consistent, quite good with the shockwave as well. You know, she's truly a shockwave delivery system, bit of a nuclear bomb combo. So pretty
Nuclear
standard that
bomb
they didn't
versus
go for that.
coughing baby. And this coughing baby is probably going to be the Yasuo at this point.
Unfortunately, could be the Kais as well. Pretty squishy if you're able to get on top of her, which Vi has no problem doing.
It's true, but we're going to have to figure out what this last pick is to either be a mid laner or an ADC.
Yeah, this could still be the Jinx. It is open. We're waiting on production to let us know what that is. That is Lux locked in.
Oh,
I believe that's a Lux mid for Neversaw. You're just gonna have
that's
to
the
trust me
first
on it.
time I heard.
I, yeah,
I don't think Eevee would go Lux, though. That
you,
doesn't
you
sound like
gotta
a
trust me with
champion.
some insider information here.
You have some insider information?
I have some insider information that she had been thinking about that pick specifically. So
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, we'll see. You know, they'll be in Champ Select soon, and we'll be able to see where she's going. But tentatively, I would say it's Lux mid, and it is in fact a Kai'Sa Rakan bot lane.
Gotcha. Also, I did look up Volta's profile just now, and I'm understanding the VAR span a lot more. This guy has almost 70 games on him with a above 50% win rate. So, if we
If I
aren't picking
speak,
the VARs, definitely should get rid of it.
yeah, makes sense that they've banned it every game. Get him off of his comfort. Really surprised that neither team locked in the Jinx here since it was open, especially again after Final Boss had such a good time with it. But I guess they valued the flexibility of the Kai'Sa on 4 over just the raw strength of the Jinx pick.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe both teams think Jinx is kind of sleeper, you know? We really don't want to just have an ADC stand there and auto attack. We want something that wants to go in, you know?
Very true. I mean, they do have the Yasuo and the Rek'Sai and the Rakan, so with such a dive heavy team, Kai'Sa definitely fits that identity a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it really depends. At least with both drafts right now, whoever engages first and kills up their carries is probably going to win because we have the Vi Oriana Gragas looking to wombo combo everyone, followed by the Seraphine Encore. But at the same time, if Rakan lands a really nice grand entrance, this Yasuo and Kaisa are absolutely snap engaging with him.
100%. I think you called it out perfectly. It's just going to be on who can find the correct angles and who can find them faster.
But yeah, we're gonna be waiting for that spectator delay. But what are your thoughts in the chat? Which team do you think is gonna take it all as we head into Game 3 between Marty Sand Club and Final Boss Esports?
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy. A solo ride of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
Welcome back, Summoners, to Game 3, the final game between Marmy's Fan Club and Final Boss Esports, as they prove to see who's worthy of being in the semifinals. It's currently 1-1 between both teams, as both of them have shown pretty dominating performances. But it all comes down to this. Once again, on the casting desk, this is Goomba, and with me tonight is none other than the illustrious One Cake, bringing in the action as we see who takes it all tonight.
Yeah, again, welcome back. Everyone gets to hear Gar's beautiful voice do the intro as per usual. And we
Oh,
can see both
God.
teams are just doing well, let me compliment you, Gar. Don't oh God me.
Oh, God.
You have a sexy voice, my man. You're a great
Oh,
guy.
thank you.
Of course. Unfortunately, the gameplay's a little less sexy today. Game 1 was well, we won't talk about game 1. Game 2 was a fiesta. All things said and done. It ended up being pretty clean by Marmy's Fan Club at the end, but it was a fiesta for quite a bit. And game 3 so far is just a standard 5-point. No invades, no anything. So
Free mana flow for Pyrosis. GG's.
yeah, mid-gap.
We do have Ryan walking up behind Gourmet Cookies, though. He did get spotted. As it is a body
Ooh,
slam.
what a
start.
sidestep.
Oh, yeah. Steel Tempest is not going to be doing much as a body slam. Followed by the grasp. He's going to be doing a lot of work. Boom. First grasp stack over to Gourmet Cookies.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a ton of healing. Top lane trading like that, very, very on edge. And unfortunately for Ryan, did not go overly in his favor, as Gragas is just going to keep healing up through this lane. Gragas level 1, even though it's just a fat man throwing his stomach into you. Surprisingly strong, especially with that grasp boom.
The Steel Tempest Tornado does land on top of him, though, so it's still quite a bit of damage going over to Gourmet Cookies. Because the passive healing is not that much early game.
That is very, very true. And one thing to focus on, excuse me, is it is in fact Neversaw on the Lux in this mid lane here. And Lux just being so strong in the early game is something that we just need to watch out for, because Pyrosis has been hands checking Neversaw every game so far. And if he oversteps, very, very easy to get QER'd or just hit by a stray E slowed into a Rek'Sai gank. So Pyrosis just needs to be on edge at all times, pretty much.
A body slam hit. I am appalled, but Ryan does have the Steel Tempest stacked up, and the sweeping dash is gonna help connect for another. I can't even talk right now because that body slam was so egregious. I'm like mental shocked.
Gragas stunned you with that one, apparently.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
You
let's
might need
be
to buy
real.
some merch treads, Gar. I'll be real.
That's 1,100 gold, and unfortunately, actually no, it's 1,200 gold, and I don't have that kind of money.
1250 now, yeah. They made it expensive.
What is this Riot boots inflation, man? Come on.
I know, man. They already nerfed battle passes. They're nerfing my merc treads cost too. Unbelievable.
It's okay. They brought back Hextech chests after quite a bit of complaining.
Ah, yes.
Gourmet Cookie's not really in a great position right now. Ryan is healing a lot more than I expected he would in the early game.
Yeah, Ryan making a ton of use of the passive shield. The Doran's Blade healing on minions. Small, but not to be understated, as Ryan has a huge HP advantage going in here. And Cookies has no coverage from his jungler, as Heiko is on the bot side of the map here, looking to cheese the bot side of Final Boss Esports once again.
Void Seeker goes wide from vaults as Sunshine is just going to walk straight into the bush. We do have Rek'Sai Spartan. I don't think this mid lane is... Pyros is going to be forced to flash in the second here. And with a Bluetooth auto attack from Rek'Sai, it's going to be first blood over the Final Boss Esports once again.
Yeah, Pyrosis just unfortunately disrespecting the Rek'Sai damage, gets hit by the knockup, gets hit by 2 autos before flashing, and because of that, Spartan's able to follow the flash, get the PTA auto off, and pick up a kill. And this is exactly what you want from your Rek'Sai, right? We just talked about it, the Lux Rek'Sai having a really, really strong early pressure onto an immobile mage like Orianna, and here they are with a regank. Pyrosis with the rage kicking back in, and
The Vault Breaker from the Vi does connect on Spartan. And a flash comes out from Never, so it's going to be another 2-0 for Final Boss Esports, but Heiko's ready to smash his Rek'Sai's face. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but the wave save is not really good for Pyrosis. He basically did a TP of a certain person we're not allowed to name, unfortunately. That Serious forced an arcing shift away from the fight. The light binding hits Heiko, and he's taking a lot of damage. Not really sure what he's trying to do in this mid lane right now.
yeah, just looks like he's trying to just hold the wave and stall time. Maybe just keep Neversaw in lane since she has no mana, but since she has TP, I'm not sure what the overall point there is. Maybe just kind of get some vision.
Yeah, perhaps. Or maybe he's just there to make sure that Neversaw doesn't back away, but I feel like Neversaw wants to keep that Vi in the lane so that she loses tempo on the jump.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, Vi going back into her full clear, Rek'Sai doing the same thing. Both junglers going to be pathing down once again. We could see an early fight for this dragon, or we might see an early fight for the grubs, which are spawning in here very, very shortly. However, neither support has rotated up, so I would assume both teams are going to try to get an early dragon down this game.
Yeah, but unfortunately with the top pressure that's happening right now, Ryan is in such a good position while Gourmet Cookies is kind of getting his fat body beat right now. Oh no, the canceled autos. -1 in the chat as Ryan is going to throw another Steel Tempest out and connects the Gourmet Cookies, but I feel like if I was Heiko right now, I want to be playing towards the bot side just because of how much pressure is like possible playing on top side.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Heiko is hard forced to play around bot side, but with his bot lane being pushed in, could be very hard with Spartan hovering right in the area as Asteria making an impressive arcane shift forward, but not able to connect the Q afterwards.
Yeah, but this, all the damage stacks up as Spartan is looking to try to re-gank mid. This is the Pyrosis effect. He's basically our in-house Faust. Gonna be able to escape safely. Gourmet Cookie is currently in a bit of a pickle right now. He doesn't have a lot of mana for this lane. Meanwhile, the Grand Entrance is not landing. This Hysteria, Arcane shifts away. Gleaming Cold does land from Sunshine Bees. It's gonna be a little bit of extra health on the Pulsate and Essence at the time. We do have Heiko hovering on this tower. He's gonna be cold though. Oh wait, we might have a top dive here. Smart is absolutely going for this. The final last breath lands from Ryan, and he's gonna flash away. I don't even remember what Rek'Sai's ultimate is called, but it's going to secure the kill in the Feast of Warfare over the Final Boss Esports. Heiko does not lean the Vault Breaker bot side, so he's just going to be poked down by a bunch of auto attacks from Kaisa.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate by Gourmet Cookies there. Got hit by the max range tornado, wasn't able to get his explosive cast off on anybody, and just died pretty easily on a clean dive by Ryan and Spartan there.
Yeah, so really well played. Ryan set it up super well, and even though the body slam did quite a bit of, or bought a lot of time for him, it just wasn't enough. The Binding Light from Lux does not land on Pyrosis as he's forced to stop his recall once again. He doesn't have teleport to catch this next wave, so it's going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, he's actually going to stay.
Pyrosis greedy as ever, but looks like it's going to be relatively unpunished here. Never saw trying to hide out of vision, seeing if Pyrosis is going to walk off, but I'd imagine he should be safe here. And I know we've been touching on him, but Ryan up 20 CS as well as an assist from that dive, making a lot of use out of this Yasuo pick, which I was not overly convinced of, so props to him for slamming that and playing it as well as he has so far.
Personally, as the Yasuo player, oh no, the body slam doesn't go over the wall, and Rek'Sai's able to tunnel over, putting him in a really bad position. The lethal tempo stacked up into the last breath, followed by the sparking. Oh my gosh, I can't even say the words in time as Ryan gets the kill onto Gourmet Cookies. Meanwhile, Boss Season Assist goes onto Essence with a good flash, brings Heiko under tower, and he's going to be able to walk away. It's going to be a 4-1 lead currently for Final Boss Esports as this gold lead is just going to keep growing and growing. They do have vision on this dragon that Heiko is currently doing, so this might turn out to be a pretty bad fight if it turns out like that way.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do it fast. I mean, Vi does a lot of damage early, and it looks like she's gonna secure it, but definitely risky to go for it with your HP bar looking like that, especially with a ward in the pit. If anybody had been nearby, that could be very, very dangerous. And Heiko, once again, unfortunately, now he did pick up the... No, sorry, that was Titanic Hydra going over to Spartan. I thought that was Heiko that picked that up. Spartan, once again, up in kill participation as well as almost a 20 CS lead in the jungle, so... third game in a row now that Spartan's taken quite the early lead in jungle. It just depends on if he's going to be able to transition it into a further lead.
And I think with the pressure that Ryan's been able to provide, like, he's gonna be getting this board way faster than this Greg is gonna get this Rod of Ages. And speaking of which, Rod of Ages is gonna put Gourmet Cookies out of the game even more. That takes go off, but speaking of going off, this Encore lands onto Essence once again. He is absolutely a lightning rod for that. The true shot barrage does not land on anyone. His quickness lands on both players. Volta is trying to do his best to stack as much plasma as possible, but he's unable to secure a kill. It's a bloodbath bot side, but they're going to be shut on the tower. Heiko is pathing towards his bot side, so it could be pretty dangerous if they're not able to get away. Volta does have both thumbs up. The Vault Breaker lands onto Essence, but not the beat drop. This Essence is probably just going to dash away. Assyria Arcane shifts in, his grand entrance lands, and oh my god, that
Wow.
is so crazy.
Whoa.
But the cube flash from Heiko hits onto Volta, but he's not going to be enough. He does have the barrier up. Spartan is here to try to collect his bounty as the plasma stacks are going off. The Vault Breaker lands onto Volta, but with a nice killer instinct, is going to live. Meanwhile, bot side, well, they were in bot side the entire time. Spartan gets the kill onto Asteria thanks to a lot of Queen's Wrath damage, and the Void Rush will secure Sunshine as well. And that's going to be a 3 for technical 0 for Final Boss Esports.
You got to give a ton of credit to Essence there, right? Heiko came in for that gank through the Tribe Rush, and it looked like Essence was as good as dead. I'll hold that thought as the final breath, the last breath, sorry, coming in from Yasuo. Last breath. Okay.
Final does not land there. Gourmet Cookies is still in his kill range right now because he's playing under tower. Because Lethal Tempo's super stacked up. Ryan might be able to get a kill if he's able to set it up properly. But Heiko's over the wall, ready for any shenanigans that happen. Pyros is splitting bot side to try to get as much gold as possible from the tower plates. But as we can see, the Void Shark Queen is currently clearing onto this Krugs and could class top side if she so pleases.
Yeah, and this game is looking a lot more reminiscent of Game 1, Gar, I think. It feels like, it doesn't feel quite as Doomer, but it definitely feels like Final Boss Esports is taking their lead, and they're playing a lot more together, and just kind of slowly choking out Marmy Fan Club here is they have the classic 3 winning lanes.
Maybe it is just a red side diff, who would have thought?
Listen, I'm just saying, nobody B1 Ambessa.
Listen, alright? Not everybody can play this in Besta like you did in Summit last season. Don't talk about it with me. That was
I lost that game. I lost that game.
Yeah, I definitely didn't feel like it to me, bro. I was freaking sitting on a tower getting my face smashed by the freaking Crescent Axis the entire time.
Very fair. Now back to the game. The second set of Void Grubs have spawned. Spartan's already there in the area. Looks like he's probably just going to secure it using the pressure from Neversaw and Ryan getting back to lane. And you did call it out. Now, Gourmet Cookies did end up finishing... Oh,
hold that thought. His Spartan is ready here. As Season Disc lands onto Neversaw, followed by the Command Shockwave, but that's not a lot of damage. Neversaw with the final spark lands a kill. Actually, no, Spartan gets the kill for that. And the Queen's Wrath is just going to continuously smacking. But here comes the killer instinct from Volta. His double kill goes over to Spartan. Not sure if you really want your ADC to be roaming up to mid lane like that, considering the play felt like it was already over. But hey, Kaisa does get a little bit of extra gold from that supporting kill.
Yeah, it looks like Kaisa's not even going to miss any XP for that. She should get all the CS as well, so it looks like it was just a roam camera. I'm surprised Rakan didn't come with her. Though he did hold the wave in Essence once again, making a big difference on the support role. It seems like that was a pretty scripted play with Volta roaming top and able to, like you said, Killer Instinct in there and help out, get a nice little assist his way.
Yeah, this Rek'Sai is looking super freaking strong right now. I honestly... Rek'Sai is one of the, like, those sleeper picks that, like, is always good, but you just don't see a lot of people perform well on it. But Spartan's really showing us up with it.
Yeah, Spartan's going crazy this game on it. Again, still up almost 30 CS now as Ryan gets body slammed in the face and Cookies just gets a little grass proc, but Cookie's taking trades like this. Not looking great as he does get explosive cast back into the tower.
Ryan is taken so low as the flash from Gourmet Cookies.
My God.
Solo Bolo Bomba absolutely smurfs on Ryan. I fear of using a certain word because it's a little touchy at the moment, but super well played from Gourmet Cookies. He looks to try to get as much gold as possible from that kill. Meanwhile, Pyrosis in the river might be getting caught out here. The light binding does not land, but the Infernal Dragon is super important for Marmy's fan club because he's currently down.
Spartan finds the
Tunnel
angle
goes
here.
over the wall as Sunshine is knocked up, followed by the Unburrow and the Grand Entrance, and Volta is going to be getting a free kill on his plate.
Yeah, I mean, Spartan once again just making the difference, finding the angles. Burrows under that wall and just gets a huge knock up onto Sunshine, who is bursted down before she can even react, really.
Hold up, Heiko might be trying to look for something. Does have the cease and desist stop, followed by the Vault Breaker.
Oh.
But you're going in by yourself. The Command Shockwave finds two, and is able to get a kill for Pyrosis in essence. He splashes over the wall. Heiko's trying to finish off guys as fast as possible. The Pyrosis will not get that kill because Hysteria gets a kill. The Vault Breaker knocks back Rek'Sai and Neversaw. It's going to be a 3-for-1 trade, but here comes Gourmet Cookies.
There's a Gragas here?
The Vault Breaker flashes away. I don't know how the Fat Man got here so fast, but you are losing first tower topside for it. As they look to continue doing this Infernal Dragon, possibly get this combat gold.
Yeah,
Actually, I think
right.
the combat gold is gone now because of that fight.
That's a bit unfortunate now. I mean, Final Boss does still have a 5k lead, but that is not how you really want to see a fight going. Props to Pyros Heiko for finding the Wombo combo there because they hit a 3-man shockwave and just did so much damage.
Yeah, this is a Seraph's Oriana too. That item technically doesn't really do as much as it needs to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is, especially unevolved, it is not as strong as she could be, and still having the ability to step up, the confidence to step up there and make that play. Just tons of credit to them. They are able to get a second dragon. Really, really well played by Marmy Fan Club to try to get back into this game a little bit.
Neversaw might be in a bit of an awkward position. She does land the light binding on Hysteria. And they're forced to just take the control ward instead. But there is a TP coming out from Gourmet Cookies from behind. As they're looking for this bot play right now. Heiko's with the Vault Breakers closing the gap. There's not really a play that he made now. Wait, hold up. Volta's gonna look for the execute here.
Looks like he should be able to get it, as nobody's really in range to stop him, and really well played from Volta, actually able to bait out the TP from Gourmet Cookies as he called there, and that is a lot of top pressure lost by Gourmet Cookies going for that. Like, yes, they got Kaisa dead, but you're still losing 1v1 to this Yasuo, and if you ever decide to leave lane, he's just going to take that tier 2, or really anybody who's in that top lane pressuring that top lane tier 2.
Yeah, this is exactly how we were going to expect the Gwen to play, but no, from Yasuo, he's just going to be sitting in the side lane and forcing Marby's Fan Club to make a choice between giving up a top tower for map play or just lose the tower and keep Gragas up there. Grand Entrance does not land on Pyrosis. Vault Breaker is being charged by Heiko, but it's unable to get away because of the Battle Dance read. It's kind of crazy. Oh, hold on. They do spot Heiko on a ward there. Meanwhile, topside Spartan is being caught out by Gourmet Cookies, but she's just going to be able to run away thanks to the Burrows speed. Vault Breaker's being charged again as they may be looking for something. Nope. Cancels out. I feel like this combination between Lux and under a tower is a good thing. Gourmet Cookies does get ult hit. The body slam does land, but it's a lot of damage right now. As the last breath comes out thanks to the Unburrow as explosive cast Bomba brings Ryan back on the tower. Meanwhile, Milan sees an assist. It went out onto Volta, but it's going to be a return kill 1-for-1 between Hysteria and Volta, and Ryan gets another kill onto Gourmet Cookies. This is a super strong Yasuo right now, as Pyros is forced to teleport to try to prevent them from being able to push any farther in this top lane. But this Rek'Sai might be looking for something mid lane. Nope, she's going to go back.
Looks like she's going back to her camps, yeah. Really well played by Hysteria and Sunshine there to get a kill onto Volta while Gourmet Cookies was getting killed, but Heiko unfortunately also dying on the back end of that. Not really what you want to see. And unfortunately, I think they might have been able to go for that dive bot lane, but Heiko just spent so much time sitting there charging Qs, staring at the enemy team and hesitating a bit. I think they lost a lot of pressure just by not pulling that trigger sooner, you know?
Yeah, Heiko is finally down. Final Spark goes out to clear the entire wave as both ultimates are just being thrown out just because of low cooldown.
Yeah, very very funny that Lux is able to do that on repeat, just ult the wave and recall. But Neversol playing it well, knowing that's a strength of her champion and doing that is always good. Lux also doing a ton of damage without her ultimate, not super reliant, especially when you have a Rek'Sai as fed as this, man. Like, you don't even need the ult damage to kill somebody. Rek'Sai can just auto them to death.
Yeah, Queen's Wrath is honestly pretty scary with the Titanic. I think Gourmet Cookies might be in a pretty bad spot here if Heiko doesn't stop his recall. Gourmet Cookies force a body slam away and flash out, but this burrow speed is so crazy. The explosive cast knocks Neversol up, and I feel like Neversol might be in a pretty bad position. Force a flash away, not able to cease and desist. Heiko flashes away from the final spark with so much damage coming up from this right side. Spartan flashes in, followed by the Void Rush, but it's canceled by the Vault Breaker. That's going to be a free kill for Neversol. Spartan unfortunately does not die for Marmy Fan Club. Topside Pyrosis using Command Shockwave to get Ryan off him, but the Steel Tempest does not land as both players flash away. Every flash is being burnt across the map. Final Boss Esports is coming on top of all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that Spartan lived that, by the way. I thought for sure that tower shot was going to kill, but because of the level, it's just the amount of HP, and importantly, the Triumph proc from getting the kill there. He is able to survive and walk it out.
Oh, I totally forgot. Sundered Sky is an item on the red side.
Yeah, Sundered Sky
That
has
is
been
another
doing
like 100-something
work.
HP for an auto.
Yep, every like 6 seconds or something. And it's a guaranteed crit.
Pyrosis
no.
might be dead here. The final breath was unfortunately not off cooldown yet. Pyrosis is going to be able to run away from the phaser. The Vault Breaker does not land on the Ryan. As the Immortal Shield Bow comes out, it lands onto the Ryan, followed by the Vault Breaker. There's so much CC happening, and Heiko gets the kill onto Ryan. But it took an army to take down this one Yasuo. As Final Boss Esports are going to be able to take the Dragon. Cast comes out, but not able to steal, unfortunately, because Radavaden's Symbol Winter Dragon doesn't really do that much damage.
No, he does not. And Final Boss Esports taking the Dragon, just going to recall, so a free Rift Herald here for Marmy's fan club. And honestly, not too bad overall. Again, when you're down 6k gold like this, you kind of just need to take your small wins where you can get them. And Rift Herald is going to be that small win in this case, right? They are going to have to start looking for shutdowns, I think, especially on Spartan, right? If you kill Spartan, that is 900 gold going over to whoever kills them. And at this point, I think you probably need it on Pyrosis. So it's going to be a game of setting up vision, seeing where Spartan is, and finding any possible way to lock up that shutdown, as Gourmet Cookies is able to use his Demolish, use his W, and take this bot tier 1 to get a little bit of gold back towards their side.
That Demolish damage is kind of juicy, but I felt like it would have been able to do more considering the items that he has at this point. With that being said, it at least opens up the map, considering that is the first tower that Marmy's fan club has been able to get this entire game. Oh, and Essence might be caught out here. The Battle Dance is just in range for Volta. It's going to get out scot-free, but they're looking to prep something. I think they might be trying to look for this Rift Herald play mid. Well, we do have Spartan and Neversaw prep. Looking around this Autocon, they might want to collapse on this.
You got to be very careful here with this Rift Herald. Somebody might want to use it to charge out, but looks like they're just going to stay grouped together. Spartan's just going to clear the control ward and walk away. They do get the mid tier 1. Now this eases them up a little bit as Ryan also gets the bot tier 1 in response. Gourmet Cookies does need to be careful here. Ryan very strong with the Bork and the shield bow, and especially since Gragas is built basically pure HP so far, Bork puts in a lot of work when fighting a Gragas like that.
Ryan's using all the sweeping blades that he can, and follows the lethal tempo is stacked up. Gourmet Cookie's getting poked out, but the CC is preventing him from getting last breath. The explosive cap comes out, followed by the Vault Breaker and the CC assist. Ryan is not able to move. This is basically a bounce house bot lane, and Gourmet Cookie secures the kill with a nicely planned barrel roll. Meanwhile, topside Pyrosis is in a really bad situation. He's getting caught out by Spartan and Lux. His Command Shockwave knocks up the Rek'Sai, but unfortunately, not enough to stop Neversaw from doing the final spark. That's going to be another kill for Neversaw, but a flash from Mysteria mid lane, followed by a lot of mixing shots. The barrier comes out. Killer Instinct is providing so much healing, but forced to flash away. The Encore goes out and misses. Essence is going to be able to walk away as the Arcane Shift does not provide enough to continue chasing Essence. Wow, Heiko
It's
spots
really
up
too
Spartan
bad.
over the wall.
Oh my god, Spartan's caught.
Tunnel is going to come out, and Heiko is going to get hit by this light binding as Asterian's trying to do his best to back him up, but Neversaw does so much damage. Spartan is stuck between a fat man and a twink, and is currently getting body slammed, but Essence is doing his best to catch up with him. Sunshine does go down. Hysteria tries to do his best to return something. A teleport comes out from Ryan. It's going to be a bloodbath in a second. Hysteria gets a kill. Actually, Gourmet Cookies gets a kill onto Neversaw. There's another fat shutdown for Marmy's fan club, but still not enough to bring out this gold lead. Still 5K as Rek'Sai is hovering around, looking for something extra that might happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, through all of that, Spartan was still able to live. So, since this shutdown didn't go over, the gold lead stays heavily in the favor of Final Boss Esports here. I think that was just kind of the classic, like, happy gaming. You know, you feel like you're ahead, so you just take any fight you can find because you know you're ahead. And unfortunately, they bit off a little bit more than they could chew there. But all in all, not too bad for them. It doesn't really change the game state all too much.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say I'm happy that Marmy's fan club are able to return some kills, but like, we are losing so much from the map. And
Yeah,
I mean, there's only so much you guys can. I mean, these are desperation plays, obviously, but if we're going to be making desperation plays, we want to make sure that the other lanes that are not, like, the focus of our attention are safe. Harusa's getting caught out there was pretty bad for their team, and followed by, you know, Gourmet Cookies fighting in the jungle. It wasn't exactly our best look there. But
I completely agree. Yeah, I think Pyros has also been caught out like that and just killed straight through his Seraph shield. Speaks to just some sort of miscommunication or just overconfidence, overstepping. But either way, when you're behind like this, like you said, this is just those are the mistakes you need to cut down on. As Spartan trying to look for a kill here as Sunshine and Asteria walking to a bush. Spartan could be going into a 1v3 though. I don't think he knows. As Gourmet Cookies looks to fight Ryan a little bit here in the top lane.
between a barrel and a katana, who would win? And it looks like the barrel man is doing quite a bit of work, but the body slam misses, which means it's going to be off cooldown for another 6 or 8 seconds. Considering the refund matters when it hits. But they are prepping for this next dragon, as this dragon's going to either make it sole breakpoint for Marmy's fan club or a tie between Final Boss Esports. Blue Shot Barrage hits on Spartan and Neversaw. The shield coming just a little too late for anything to really matter between that.
I do want to shout out Asteria in these little scraps. Just, I mean, hitting a ton of these Qs and never being afraid to arcane shift forwards. Not a ton of attention thrown towards the bot lane here, but Asteria looking quite good on this Ezreal pick.
I will say Ryan doesn't have TP, so he's going to have to recall if he wants to play this fight, but at the same time, if Gourmet Cookies does TP, it's not going to be a really fun situation to see your base open up. The dragon is secured by Heiko, and they might be looking for a return fight as Gourmet Cookies does teleport. Ryan is recalling at the moment. Ceases goes up to Spartan, but the command shockwave lands, I think. It didn't look like it landed. Body slam flash, followed by a nice explosive cast, lands on 3. Malta's currently fighting between a fat man and a hard place, and I think the hard place is winning right now as Neversaw is getting ran down by the Gragas. The flash light binding does not land onto the Gragas, but does land on Sunshine and Hysteria. So that's a 3 for 0 for Marmy's fan club, and I think they're going to run straight to this Baron.
Yeah, and in an instant, Marmy's fan club is able to turn the game around as Ryan is looking at the Gourmet Cookies, but Gourmet Cookies just has so much health, so much CC.
Hold on, this might be another fight happening. Explosive cast. Not explosive cast. The barrel misses, but it doesn't matter because the Vault Breaker goes over the wall and knocks him up, and everyone is just wailing into this Yasuo right now. The wind wall doesn't matter. And this is now going to be a free Baron over for Marmy's fan club. This could be the comeback we really needed for this team.
Yeah, Ryan, unfortunately, jumping the gun a little bit there, not even waiting for Marmy's fan club to start the Baron before he walked up. Now, it's hard without vision, but he did just start hitting into Gourmet Cookies and immediately got punished for it. And that's not really what you want to see off the back of a lost team fight like that. Now, props to the side of Marmy's fan club. They got the Drake. They found an angle that they knew they wanted to fight. They got the Shockwave on top of the Vi cease and desist. Gourmet Cookies had a huge body slam flash as well as an explosive cask that hit, I believe, 3 people, knocking 2 of them into his team.
Yep.
And they were able to flip the game on its head. Now, it is still a 3K gold lead in the favor of Final Boss Esports, but Marmy's fan club showing that even when they're down 5K, they were able to put up not only put up a fight, but they were able to win and get a Baron off the back end of it.
It's just like the freaking MLXG meme, you know? When Marmy fan club sees that they're 8K behind in gold, they realize they're in a desperate situation to have to make a fight. When they're only 2K gold, they're in a good position. They want to make a fight. And it looks like this fight might be happening as Spartan is probably going to catch out Sunshine, force the flash, but that's 3 flashes from Final Boss Esports as they look to run down Gourmet Cookies. The Steel Tempest and the Final Spark combo into each other, and Falta gets another kill on top of his belt. And that's a shutdown over to the Kaisa. And I think Spartan wants to look for more.
Yeah, Sunshine unfortunately overstepping up the mid lane with the Baron buff and just gets caught out by Final Boss Esports. And once again, we see that even though they lost that fight, they are not quite down and out. They still have a lot of damage. They still have a lot of chain CC to put together. And they are running to the icon off after this. Now, if Marmy's fan club is aware of that, they could try to punish, but it is a 3v5, pretty scary, and there is just too much damage coming down. It is just going to go over immediately to the side of Final Boss here as Ryan is going to cover the mid lane.
You know for a fact Ryan would have taken that if it was just one person.
Every Yasuo player on the planet would. How can you not, you know? You're
I
a
would've
3 item
taken you
Yasuo, you're ahead?
Yeah. I would have taken it with the 2 people there, I'm gonna be real. But
I'm pressing R before the tornado hits, you know? I am mashing that key.
click. But yeah, Ryan was able to hold down the base. The Baron minions were not enough to do anything while they were taking the Otacon. So even though they don't really have any Dragon Souls to get much use of the Otacon buff, I still am wondering whether or not it buffs the Grub's damage, but if it does, that's going to be a lot of tower damage coming down in a second if they win any fight.
Yeah, it is a very scary situation to be in, especially with death timers getting long at this, you know, this post 30-minute point. You have to be super careful not to get caught out and die like they have been. Especially like, you know you can win a fight, but they're down, it looks like they're down 8k gold after getting that Baron, so not the greatest use of a Baron that they got off their team fight there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's almost feels like the Baron was used to make sure that they didn't get the, or Final Boss Esports didn't get the Baron. But look at this vision setup by Final Boss Esports. They are here to make sure that Marmy's fan club cannot walk up to this dragon ever. Pyrosis may be getting caught out here. The Grand Entrance is not landing. Pyrosis will be using the phase rush, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him to be walking up to these fights. Heiko's getting spotted out on a ward. And Rek'Sai is over the pit. Yeah, look at all this positioning right now. They can't walk
Rek'Sai,
up
Spartan
the lane.
could be on an angle. They don't have vision on him. Sitting on the red buff here. Pyros is walking up so far, sitting on a ward. Spartan has the angle. Is he going to go for it? They're going to find the knockup.
Killer Instinct followed by the final spark. Pyrosis forces Zanya's out. Gourmet Cookie's doing his best to TP, but so is Ryan. And they're going to be in a 4v5 situation here as the Grand Entrance doesn't land. But the nice double tunnel followed by the last breath will be able to get 2 of the members. The Vault Breaker tries to do his best, followed by the Cease Assist, but they're not going to be able to kill Ryan. Gourmet Cookies is so tanky though, but not the rest of his team. The Vault Breaker does cancel the tunnel, and Shutdown goes over to Hysteria. The team is so low on Final Boss Esports. It's the 4v4, followed by 3v4. Hysteria going crazy. The flash Vault Breaker from Heiko goes insane. They're going to run down the base. His Vault is forced to run away, and Heiko uses the wind wall to blast away as much as possible. Forced to blast the tower as Batman is crushing it. Hysteria lands it with a 2-shot barrage. That's going to be an X for Final Boss Esports. I mean, Marty's fan club. What is going on?
There's a wave coming in. Are they going to try to flip this for the end? I mean, there are 40 seconds of these respawn timers. They might go for it. Did Final Boss just grief the game? Is it over? Did Marty's fan club find the angle? I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Oh, dude, they do have respawns coming up in soon, but I think this is going to be enough time to get an inhib, maybe a first tower. But you have to remember, though, that these towers can respawn after 3 minutes.
They're going to go for it.
Dude, there's no way they're going to win this, right?
It's 5-on-3. It's only Nevers on the top. Ryan and Faltar are both down. Pyros is getting bursted. Essence try to do what he can.
Final
but
strike goes out, but with the light fighting, it's going to be so much damage. But the tower is next going down, and that's going to be a win for Marty's fan club. Oh my god!
They take it. A bit ironic to name yourself Final Boss Esports when the real final boss was Marty's fan club all along. They couldn't kill the Gragas, they couldn't kill the Ezreal, and they were able to turn the fight around. Marty's fan club coming back after one of the biggest stomps we have ever seen and winning it 2-1. The reverse sweep, the close game 2, and a pretty decisive game 3 there.
What? That had absolute cinema. Oh my god, the power of Marmy is prevailing over everyone's expectations right now. They're able to beat out Final Boss Esports even after such a monumentous defeat in the first game. And they overturned the series result from the play-ins. They lost 2-1 to Final Boss Esports when they played. So this is a huge showing for Marmy's fan club as they are one of the first teams to advance to the semifinals round. Oh my god.
What an incredible upset. What a great series. Gar, I'm so glad we were here to witness that. That was just crazy. The Gragas, especially after a rough early game, showing why you picked the utility top laner over the Yasuo, unfortunately, just able to find insane body slam flashes, the explosive cask every fight, just doing insane work with disruption and locking the Vi as well, just for guaranteed CC, really, really just made their team fighting so reliable. And they were able to roll that into a win.
Oh my god. You know what, Cake? Who would you put as like the MVP for this series? Who do you think is like the de facto reason why Marmy's fan club was able to prevail over Final Boss Esports and overcome their demons?
I mean, you got to give it to Pyrosis, no? I think, I mean, game one was rough, right? But he put in so much work on Oriana on games two and three. I mean, even game three, we saw when they were behind early, he was the one that found that three-man shockwave at the dragon fight to get the ball rolling back in their favor. Like, it was incredible the stuff that he put up on the Oriana, and honestly doing quite well in lane into Neversol, who is a fantastic laner and individual player. So my personal MVP is Pyrosis. I think he just did exactly what he needed to do to win these games.
I do agree with your points. And Pyrosis, he's still the magnet for his team, absolutely soaking so much jungle pressure. And even though he does die to it a lot, it's still making sure that the rest of his team is able to have breathing room. Uh, I'm gonna put my MVP over to Gourmet Cookies this game series, though. I think, despite the situation that happened top lane, where like he wasn't really able to provide much as Cho'Gath into the silos, he really showed his worth on the Singe, being able to neutralize any sort of split push that Ryan had, and also just being an entire menace in the mid to late game team fights as a Singe. And you see it here, like, even though he got absolutely mollywopped by Yasuo early, this Gragas made all the important plays with these body slams and explosive casts and absolutely turned these fights around for Marmy's fan club.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think Gourmet Cookies also played exceptionally well. Like you said, he had a rough early, but both times was able to scale so well. Was at every fight that he needed to be at, played very selflessly, and was a pivotal reason as to why they were able to win as many team fights as they were.
But with that, we're going to have to bring this stream to a close. Marmy's fan club advanced to the second round, and I believe on the other game result, we have Possum Posse overcoming Ohio and being the second team to from advance to the semifinals. So we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow to see who beats or who makes it to the semifinals with them. Uh, as I believe the matches are going to be Scheduling Nightmares versus Chill Guys, and then it's going to be Gar's second grade class versus Harold's Groovies.
Good luck, Gar. Let me know if you need a sub.
Please sub me in. All right, please sub for me, Smile. You'll finally get to experience what it's like to be under Peak's leash.
uh,
But with that, we are going to say goodbye to you guys. Have a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Once again, this has been Gar Goomba, who's going to be casting a lot more next season. And I'm joined with me tonight is none other than the beautiful, absolutely handsome, and sexy One Cake on the desk with me.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in.